Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. Very excited to have you with me. It's the Carabao Cup Final. It's the first bit of silverware we have this season, and it's Chelsea against Liverpool at Wembley. I tell you what, very excited. I mean, look, fortunately, it seems a long time ago that that Manchester United played this final against Newcastle. And yeah, it was a big day for United. We hadn't won a bit of silverware for quite a while, and yeah, Newcastle, it was a good game, and we won the trophy. And I think that that felt like quite an exclusive thing because it was personal to Manchester United. But I've got to be honest, I mean, it's nowhere near the same as having your club in a final. But I've got to be honest, I am absolutely buzzing about this final. Really looking forward to it. Two teams with different journeys ahead of them, but combining at a time that really does give Chelsea, I think, their best opportunity of silverware this season, and maybe their best opportunity of a pathway into Europe. So Liverpool, on the other hand, will want to win, but out of all their priorities, it's probably one of the lowest, if not the lowest. But it's a game in a cup final that they want to win. The reason we're talking about the opportunity for Chelsea is in no way detrimentally disrespectful to what Liverpool might be able to achieve. Just very, very simple that Liverpool have got a lot of injuries, as we will be able to show you now when I start this stats carousel. That's the Chelsea team, which is Petrovic in goal, Gusto, Disasi, Colwell, Chilwell, Caicedo, Fernandes, Gallagher, Palmer, Sterling, Jackson. I like that team. I think for the first time in a long time, I'm looking at a Chelsea side and I'm seeing a balance to it, especially with the front three, the midfield. Disasi played well last week. I think there might be a bit of momentum for Chelsea, but how many times have we said that? Liverpool, Kelleher, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson. Not too bad considering the injuries. McAllister, Endo, Gravenberch. Not too bad considering the injuries. Elliott, Gakpo, Diaz. Again, not too bad considering the injuries, but there is no Salah. There is no Nunez. Obviously, there's no Jota, Szoboszlai, Trent. Who else is missing? I lose track. But the bench for Liverpool really isn't much there. Whereas for Chelsea, there's a little bit more with the likes of Madueke, Mudryk, but and Nkunku as well. So that's what I mean. I think Chelsea have got a really big opportunity here today. And it's about whether they can take that, because Liverpool will still be favourites. They're still Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp's, baby in a sense, that he's built up all those years. Players that can come in and play in his system. I mean, it's very different to what Chelsea have got, or Newcastle have got, or Manchester United have got. They don't have the depth. They don't have the years. They don't have the players that Poch wants, Ten Hag wants, and Eddie Howe wants. So, they lose a few players and it's a big difference. Whereas we've seen with Klopp over the years that when he loses players, they can still step in and play similarly. Although there is a drop off, you've got to acknowledge that, of course. So massively exciting about it, massively excited about it, and love to know. We will do a poll on this one, who's going to win, because I think it's a really, really close one to call. Just before I do that, though, and I will start setting that up, please don't forget that we are sponsored by Surfshark on the show today. If you don't know what Surfshark is, I will tell you. It's a virtual private network which basically secures your safeguards and private messages, photos, videos, and sensitive information. But basically, with a VPN, a virtual private network, you can change your location when you are on the internet or on your phone or on your laptop to wherever you want to be. So if you want to be in New York, it will change your location to New York. And this is useful if you want to protect where you are, but also if you are in New York on holiday and you want to log into your UK Netflix, you change your location to London, it thinks you're in London. Surfshark also offers a one suite including alert, search, antivirus, and alternative ID. Unlimited use across simultaneous devices, so Android, iOS, Amazon Fire. You can be on your phone, you can be on your laptop and be using your Surfshark. It's a comprehensive digital package with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And there's an exclusive code as well, which will give you... the link's in the description. Scan the QR code to get 83% off and 6 months free. So links in the description, and you can do that by scanning the QR code and using the code That's Football. So links in the description for that. Really appreciate it, and massive shout out to Surfshark. Right, I'm going to get this poll up and running. Let me just send this. I've just realised something. Sorry for my ignorance here. Right, let me just move there. Right, I want to run this poll for you. What we're going to say, either or, who's winning today, Chelsea or Liverpool? I also want to give a big shout out to this community because I was in a really bad place last night after that Man United result. And it was a bit of escapism for a couple of hours. I don't think it was my best show, and apologies if it wasn't, but for me personally, it was just nice to escape for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, a couple of hours. I'd like to, you know what? I went to watch Seb play football today, and we drove past Birmingham Airport. And I did say like, I'd love to be just parking this car up, getting on a plane, and going somewhere for 2 weeks, and not watching Manchester United again. I'm looking forward to this game. In relation to United, I think the last 10 years has finally caught up with me. I'm absolutely exhausted with it. The repetition, the same arguments, the toxicity, the arguing. It's tiring. I do get a lot more pleasure out of this because it's pure escapism. This is my football's my passion. I love football, and I don't support Liverpool or Chelsea, so I watch this great game we're going to watch for a cup, and I'm like, I probably want Chelsea to win because it's against Liverpool, but really, if Liverpool win it, I'm not going to be crying because Liverpool have won Champions Leagues and Premier League because we're shit. So this is my passion. I love football. I love doing the podcast. Thanks everyone who listens to Goldbridge Saves Football, and I love doing That's Football. But I love Man United more than anything, but they're just a very hard club to support at the moment. And it's a very draining thing to do, whereas this is more enjoyable at the moment, so I appreciate that. So yeah, get your votes in. Who are you going to go for, Chelsea or Liverpool? 61% if you still think Liverpool, which I've got to respect. I've been saying all week I've got a funny feeling Chelsea win this game, because in games where Chelsea get written off, it tends to be they tend to do well. They do tend to do well. They're just showing that clip of Kepa when he refused to come off the pitch. I will always look back on that and say, I don't know what Sarri was doing. You know, when Kepa refused to come off, I don't know what he was doing. I would have, as a manager, I would have walked on the pitch and carried him off. That was a battle of wills, and he lost. It was ridiculous of Sarri to allow Kepa to say, no, I'm not coming off. Never seen anything like it, and I would not. You'd probably lose your job for doing it. I don't care. I would not have let that happen. No way. Let me just put this out as well. Thanks everybody who's tuning in, by the way. I think we'll get a good game though. I think it's the game of the weekend because obviously it's a cup final, but I think we do get a good game. I really do think we'll get a good game. I think it's going to be very very entertaining in how it works. So there we go. Right, let's have a look at what some people are saying. 5,000 of you already. Hi Bro says, what's your score prediction, Mark? I'm going to go with a United win. United win. Linda has caught me out there with her badge. Thank you very much to Linda Searles. Hope you're doing well. I know you had a bad weekend last weekend. Hope you're doing good. If you want to get a badge next to your name, get your badge in like Linda. You can join the members club by clicking the join button. Big up Linda. Hope you're doing well. Big up the score. Big up the chat. You know the rules. No, United win. I'm suffering from PTSD, aren't I? I'm going to go with the Chelsea win. Never write Liverpool off. Never write Liverpool off. But I'm going to go with the Chelsea win. I just think that going into this game, they've got... I'll explain why. As I was saying on the United stand this morning, opinion without accountability is pointless. You can't just say Chelsea are going to win. You've got to give a reason. So Liverpool are a better team than Chelsea, but Liverpool are decimated. Chelsea, for the first time this season, look like they've found an 11 that gives them structure. And man for man, they're in a better place than Liverpool are at the moment in relation to putting their best team out. Liverpool are a better team than Chelsea, but Liverpool will have more of the ball and Chelsea will be able to counter. And I think that plays into a marginal Chelsea win, because I think that countering against Liverpool, if they defend well, like they did against Man City, could benefit Chelsea. And I also think Conor Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez have played really, really well recently. So, but I would agree with Tommy that Chelsea are the underdogs. Lloyd says, Chelsea fan here. Silva being out might be a blessing in disguise. Casido doesn't have to drop back to protect Silva and his ageing legs. And of course, we watched that game at the Etihad last week. Disasi was fantastic. But let's not dismiss Liverpool, because Liverpool do have an absolutely, absolutely, that's the wrong word, use of English there. A very, very good trio in Van Dijk, Kanate and McAllister, and Endo is there as well. So they've got a good midfield. They've got good centre-backs. Andy Robertson's there. The weaknesses of Liverpool are obviously the goalkeeper, not having their strongest front three, but they can still get something out of this game, I think. And the trouble is with Liverpool, if it doesn't work, you can't make changes. So yeah, it's going to be massively intriguing. It could be an extra time game. It really could. I wouldn't dismiss that. Do you think that, I presume it does go to extra time and then penalties actually, but I think it'll be a good game. I think there'll be some nasty tackles going in, which I like. I think nasty. What I mean is big tackles. Basil says, Mark, do you think that PSG can go far in the Champions League? No, not really. I think PSG are going through another transition, aren't they? I don't fancy them as being a credible threat for the Champions League. BSC says, as a Spurs fan, there isn't a bigger piss take than Chelsea winning a trophy with Poch whilst they sit mid-table. Malacia injury is a joke. Sack the medical team, says Lazy Parker. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the super chats that are coming in early, by the way. Yeah, Spurs fans, it must be an interesting weekend for you. I mean, I think you would have expected, like most of the world, that United would be level on points with you. But win your game in hand and you're 6 points clear again. In relation to the top four race, I haven't said this on the United stand, but it's not over yet. But the most important thing is, I said this before we won 4 games in a row, Spurs and Villa are better than Man United. Like, if it's who deserves top 4 at the moment, not who's going to get it. Villa and Spurs have played much better football than Man United this season. It's a credit to United that they actually got back in the race. But yeah, Spurs are a good side and Villa are a good side. And right here, right now, any honest United fan will say that they deserve it. So yeah, there's still a lot of football to be played, but yeah, it's been a good weekend for Spurs, hasn't it? I feel the game changers for Liverpool are Diaz and Bradley, says the Irish Zombie. I tell you what, great shout out. Very intelligent observation as well. Diaz has really come into his own in recent weeks. I felt that when they first bought Diaz, which must have been 2 years ago, he had that sort of initial bounce. Then he had an injury and obviously the off-field things with his dad. And he's looked a bit hit and miss this season. But in the last couple of games I've seen him, it feels like it's took him a bit of time to get it back, but he does look massively influential. Because people forget how good Diaz was when he signed, because that was at the point when people were like, we really miss Mane, and of course Liverpool miss Mane. Mane, Firmino, and Salah at their best were, they were 3 players. Obviously there were 3, but what I mean is they were a unit. They were a unit 3. And I felt that when Diaz came in, people spoke about how they missed Mane, which they did, but Diaz did really well. And some people, again, people don't really understand the way football works. They missed Mane, but Diaz was really good. And how does that work then? Well, it works because Diaz was really good individually, but the front 3 wasn't as good as it used to be. And obviously when they had Mane, Firmino and Salah as a front 3, as a unit, it was world class. When Diaz came in, he was very, very good, but they weren't a world class front 3 anymore. And he seems to be getting back to that now. Mark, I think Arsenal are a threat for the Champions League, says Alan. Well, I've said this a few times. They'll definitely beat Porto second leg, and I did a video last night after the game, and I was thinking about how I titled it up, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to say Arsenal are incredible. And it wasn't just because of last night, even though they were incredible last night. I think they've been incredible since Christmas, since the New Year, actually. But you know what, I had, he might be watching, actually, Neil Robertson, who's a Chelsea fan, snooker player, Australian. And he messaged me today and he was saying, I can't believe, how toxic the Ten Hag out movement is. And I said, but that's sort of modern football, isn't it? And I'm not going to talk about Ten Hag, I'm going to talk about Arteta. There are still Arsenal fans out there that are unhappy that you're winning because they want to be proven right that Arteta's not the right guy. And you know what, as a United fan, I don't think you know what I would do. I mean, I'm not going to go out and start giving out free hand jobs or stuff like that. I'll leave that to the other guy. But what I mean is, what I do for United to be in the position Arsenal are, young team, great football, 2 title races, Champions League. What's to moan about? But people do moan. And I think I don't know whether it was always there, but social media has made it very more visible. No matter what the position in your football club, there is always a vocal minority that will toxically try and destroy it because they think they know better. And I think it probably was always there. I used to go and watch games at Old Trafford in the early noughties, and I used to get the same tickets when I used to come over from Ireland. And I didn't go to every game. I'd probably go to about 5 or 6 a season. But you'd be sat amongst other season ticket holders. And it got to a point where I'd just be like, I don't really want to sit in this seat, because there was these season ticket holders in front of us, and one guy just hated Giggs. Hated Ryan Giggs in the early noughties. And I was like, I don't get it. I just don't get, I don't get that. I really don't. But I suppose social media allows those people that were doing it in the early noughties to, make a video or a TikTok or put a tweet out and just, express it. But in relation to Arsenal, it's the most baffling thing in the world how any Arsenal fan could be questioning Arteta at this point. I sort of get it at the start. Some people aren't very good at reading football and patterns and, philosophies and projections. But to be moaning about it now, it's incredible. And there are people out there that, still don't like Arteta who are Arsenal fans. And, I don't want Arsenal to do well. Of course I don't, but doing a great job. And similarly, it works for Liverpool, doesn't it? I mean, I should be rejoicing that Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool, because he manages my biggest rival as a Man United fan. Liverpool are our biggest rival. But I am somewhat sad. And I speak to a lot of United fans and they're the same. It's like, my best mate put it best when he said, I'm really gutted that Klopp's going. And I said, yeah, I am as well. And he said, yeah, no, I don't like him. He's a prat. He manages Liverpool and he's really toxic about Liverpool and Man United. And he won't give him anything. And he said, no, I'm really, really pissed off Klopp's going, because I wanted us to get back and knock him off his perch. But that's a different type of respect, isn't it? That is a different type of respect, because you want to beat Liverpool with Klopp. But my personal thing is, I think it's very sad that Klopp's going, because although he manages Liverpool, I think he's a massive character for the league, and I think what he's done at Liverpool is incredible. And then that brings us on to Chelsea. And what are your thoughts on Chelsea? I think Chelsea with Pochettino, I predicted on the podcast, the first podcast of the year, actually, so about 6-7 weeks ago, I said Chelsea were going to be the team of 2024. So you can do things on calendar years. It's normally team of the season, isn't it? I think team of 2023 was Aston Villa, when you think about Emery across the whole of 2023. And I think that I predicted Chelsea to be team of 2024. Well, they've got to start going some. And today is sort of where it starts. I don't know with Chelsea, but what I would say as a positive is, every time I've watched Chelsea with Pochettino, they've always seemed like it's a different front three all the time. It's a different back four all the time. There's no consistency. There's no structure. And I've got to say, last few games, starting with the Chelsea game, there was a front three he played where he had Jackson on the left, Palmer up front, and Madueke on the right. And I was like, fucking hell, what is he doing? But since then, he seems to, and it's only recently, but he seems to have found a bit of structure. And I agree. I don't know what the issue is with Thiago Silva, and I love Thiago Silva, but he can't be your future. He can't be your future. So if he's injured or he's dropped or whatever, he can't be your future. So you're better off going with the likes of Disarcy, etc., and Colwell, because that can be a future. And yeah, you might lose a few games, but it can be a future. Don't forget to check out Surfshark. The code is THATSFOOTBALL, virtual private network. If you've tried one before, you'll know what they're all about. Get onto that deal. It's fantastic. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. If you've never tried a VPN before, they're fantastic. As I said, loads and loads of features. You can use them on your phone and your laptop at the same time. But effectively, if you want to log into your Netflix and say you're in America when you're in London, you can change your location, etc., etc. Fantastic bit of kit, and you get a great deal with the That's Football by using the code That's Football. Give it a go. Give it a go. Here's an interesting list with you. I've just seen it on Twitter. Liverpool are without Matip, Jota, Alisson, Trent, Curtis Jones, Darwin Nunez, Mo Salah, Szoboszlai. As I said, that's a big set of players to be missing. And that is a big opportunity for Chelsea. Bart says, as an Arsenal fan, I have huge respect for you being Ten Hag in. I remember being Arteta out because he kept picking Willian, even though he was horrible. Eventually, we picked up some form, and look at us now. It's an interesting point, mate, actually. You do make a really good point. And I think that, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson was the late 80s. And he could have been sacked. And he wasn't. And you're right, history does show us that sticking with a manager sometimes really does pay off. Changing a manager constantly costs you a lot of money. What people don't realise is if Arsenal had sacked Arteta, would Aubameyang and all that lot have come back? You know, would you have bought Declan Rice, etc.? Is Nunez becoming Haaland and vice versa, says Master? In what sense? I don't know. I don't really know. Colwell needs to go to the Euros for me, says Leroy. Yeah, I agree. And I said it at the start of the season. What a great opportunity for Colwell because he's left-footed. Liverpool win today. They could win the treble, says Highbrow. I think he meant the treble. There was a question about this, actually. Lazy Parker says, are you excited for the Euros? Hope you're well. I am. You know what? I'm genuinely excited. I cannot stand Southgate as a coach. I think he's anti-football and a prat in relation to picking his mates. But I genuinely think this might be the first time in my life that I see England lift something. And I really do think England are going to win it. And I'm all in on it. You know, fuck Southgate. I'm going to put that aside and really just expect England, led by Kane and Bellingham and Saka and co, to bring it home in Germany as well. I mean, imagine that. The last time we won something was England 66 against Germany. And the next time we're going to win something is going to be in Germany, 2024, England. We've got it. And we're doing all the watch-alongs on here as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Euros. I am looking forward to the Euros. I genuinely am. I don't know why I'm trying to convince myself. People are saying no chance. Look, it's just my belief. We'll see. Bookmark it if you want. Are we expecting a low-scoring game? Well, we were talking about this on the podcast, weren't we? On Friday when we had Loz on. Me and Will were talking about how one of the... Was it the Carabao Cup Final between Chelsea and Liverpool 2 years ago that finished 0-0? Or maybe it was the FA Cup Final. One of those finals finished 0-0. And it was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. You can have a 0-0 that's shit. I think we'll get goals, though. I think we'll get goals. I know all need to go, but Scooby-Doo has been better than Rashford and Bruno this season. Either or McTominay or Rashford to leave. Who you're picking? Well, I'll put that in the poll, Alex G, because you've given us a £5 super chat, and I think it's worthy of a poll, that. Chelsea to win, 37%. Liverpool to win, 63%. There you go. But here's an interesting one. It's very United specific. We do those sometimes, but we like an either or on here. I mean, this would be absolutely incredible if it goes the way I think. Rashford. Who would you sell? Rashford or McTominay? Look, I want to make this very clear. The way I do my content, as you know, is I say what I think. If I see it, I say it. It's the only way to be. It's not personal. I care about my football club. If players don't put in a shift, I'm not going to protect them. I don't care who they are. I thought Rashford was terrible yesterday, but there ain't no way I'm selling Marcus Rashford over Scott McTominay. Like, that's just keeping someone because they try hard. I'm obviously getting rid of McTominay before Rashford. That's taking it to a whole new level if you're voting to do that, I think. But you can vote, and I tell you what, it'd be bloody embarrassing if it goes the way I think it will. Right, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, okay, that's what we wanted. Players are on the pitch, a few handshakes. You know the rules. Big up the handshakes. Big up Wembley. Never been a big fan of New Wembley, by the way. Not a fan of it. Much preferred the old Wembley, but it would have looked very tired in the modern day, I've got to say. What is it? Chelsea versus Liverpool. It's my wireless keyboard. Say hello. I'm not on medication. I mean, I probably should be after what happened yesterday, but no, the drugs don't work. Well, they do in certain cases. I mean, if you're severely ill, take your medicine. But I don't need that. Although I was at a low point yesterday, and as I said, many of you made me feel better on the show yesterday, and you know I appreciate the content. You know I appreciate the what we do as a community. It's what it's all about. I was saying that on United Stand today. Accountability, that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, lots of people will get in at me when they disagree with me. That's the way it should be. McTominay tries harder, is better than Rashford, can't be arsed, says Nick P. And Kieran says, I wanted to big up my club, Arsenal. We're unstoppable. Also, Liverpool win, can't stand Chelsea. Who do you think will be the first scorer? I like this. We've not done this for ages, Ant. First scorer, absolute prediction. I'm going to go with... Oh, I've got two thoughts here. If Liverpool score first, Diaz. If Chelsea score first, I'm going Palmer. Who will score first, though? You can't sit on the fence. I'm going to go with... who shall I go? I think Liverpool score first. Which is weird, because I think Chelsea will win. Yeah, I'll stick with it. I'm not going to change my mind. I'll stick with it. I've said it. I'll stick with it. There you go. Tiny hands and eager hearts. La 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 la. Okay. I don't think Petrovic is going to score first. So the handshakes are taking place. It's Liverpool against Chelsea, or it's Chelsea against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup Final at Wembley. Who's going to win? 71% of you said Liverpool. I think Chelsea might do it. I think this is the best chance of them getting some silverware. In Pochettino's first season, can he replicate what Ten Hag did? Had to laugh yesterday at the pundits on Sky Sports. They were so happy that Man United lost and then enjoy talking them down, says Philip. They love it. Going bold, Bradley, says the Irish zombie. And McTominay just wanted to... Okay, we've done that one. Done that one. Hope you don't let the dickheads on Twitter frustrate you. All of them are just jealous of the United community you've built, which nobody can take away from you. Legend, says Ashen. Mate, look, as I said on United Stand, people have got to make bread. When you're putting me in your titles and shows... As my granddad always said, if people are talking about you, there's a reason. And if they really didn't give a shit about you, they'd ignore you. So, look, I can't control what people want to do. It's probably not a bad idea to put Goldbridge in your title, is it? Or clip me up or something like that. If that's how you want to grow, you go for it, bro. I don't care. And sister, and sis. But I'm not interested in all that. I tackled DT in 2017, and we were on the back page of the Daily Mirror. It really didn't do anything for either of us, and that was probably the peak of YouTube beef. I've got no intention of getting back into any of all that. Mark, I cannot believe the audacity of Bruno Fernandes to go to the refs after that performance yesterday. Answers on a postcard, Constantine. Do not know why Bruno did it. Really don't know. Scousers were booing the national anthem. It's a disgrace as 570-5185-25SV. Get a better username. Get a better username. Is there VAR in this game? Looking forward to some end-to-end action, says Joe. End-to-end action. That's not something I use when I'm talking about football, but yeah, sounds good. 2 questions to the chat. Is VAR in place? And also, we're going to have a good show today. VAR in place, and does it go to extra time? I think it does go to extra time. I'm not sure whether VAR is in place. I think it is. But I'm not 100% sure. There is VAR, yes. Yeah, good. So Joe's got his answer. Thank you for being a member, Joe, as well. Can see your badge. Get your badge in. Join the members club. Thank you very much. We've not had anyone join the members club today, but you'll get a big shout out if you do. I don't think I've got any freebies to give away today, actually, because I think it's not the end of the month. At the start of the month, we always do. Played the game, says Hasino. You feel depressed. My height is 5'10.5", says Umzi. Nothing wrong with that. Never seen a half booing, half singing atmosphere, says the Irish zombie. Right, we're ready to go here. We're up and running. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Big up, big up, big up the TikTok viewers. Big up the YouTube viewers. Big up the Carabao Cup Final. You know the rules. God, you've got Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher on your audio. Gifted 5 memberships. Joe's a legend. Gifted 5 memberships. Joe's a legend. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Right, let me get rid of that poll. 71% of you would sell Rashford over McTominay. Come on. Wake up. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So you're telling me PSG would rather have... yeah, it doesn't make any sense, that. Come on. Scytho, thank you very much for joining the members club. Mush says it's going to be 2-0 to Chelsea. Patrick, thank you very much for the follow. Do you like halloumi, says team? I do. I think if I'm thinking about the right thing, I was in the old Contemptibles in Birmingham a few days ago, and I was having a pint and I fancied a bar snack, and I bought some halloumi fries with a sweet chili dip, and it was like this cheesy stuff with a bit of batter on it. Really nice. Loved it. Dip, dip. I'm dipping there. If it was something else, it'd be more like that. Muscle memory. I'm dipping. Oh, I wouldn't be gripping like that, would I? Bloody hell. I'd have a big problem then. I've got 3 kids. What do you think of Man United performance this season? You wouldn't be able to do anything with something like that. What do you think of Man United's performances this season? I don't really want to talk about it this evening. I'm clearly in quite a good mood. We're watching Liverpool play Chelsea. Let's not bring in my thoughts on what I think of Man United. I'm on the show at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Two-finger tugger, says you. He knows the rules. Paul is spot on. You talk about a deeper thinking audience. I think they just proved it. It's not just about their football ability. Nick P, it's called democracy, mate. Philip Sutton, thanks for gifting a membership. And I really think that the ownership should come out and say something about backing the manager. That will give him loads of confidence and also give me a shout out, says Atik Saves United. Well, I like the style, mate. I do like it. No Salah today, not on the bench. No Nunez today, not on the bench. Dino, thank you very much for following as well. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube, by the way. And if you have subscribed, if you could click the share button, that would be great. We're on the road to 110,000 subscribers and we could hit it today. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And thanks for the follows if you're on TikTok as well. Legends, as always. Carabao Cup Final. And a very tenacious midfield start here at the moment. Look at how compact it is in there. Love to see that. Love to see that. Thanks for the follow, Jason Long and Birmingham and Jamie and Tyrone as well and Armagel. Yeah, I tell you what, I did the show last night and I really didn't take the time to respect Aston Villa last night. What a bounce back. Emery's such a good coach. Look, we're watching a cup final here, but I was in a hard space last night. Not that sort. I think as I said last night, I think we've all been in that position where you're a fan of a football club and you care about it so much. You're so deflated when it loses. And I was, after 4 wins, I really felt we were moving somewhere, and then no. But Aston Villa, got to say, a few weeks ago, really struggling after losing to United and Newcastle. And they've bounced back wonderfully well since then. I think it's... I actually think when it comes to Villa, they've won their last 3 in a row since they played United. I'll just double check that. But yeah. Well, no, last 2. They went to Fulham away and they beat Forest. So 2 wins in a row when they really needed it. And they've got a great chance of Champions League football next year. Really have. And I tell you what I do like about Villa as well is... what was I going to say about Villa? They've lost Kamara and his midfield where he's got McGinn, Louise, and I'm a massive fan of Jacob Ramsey, as you know, I've said it for a long time, but Douglas Louise and McGinn have had a great season. To lose Kamara and, you know, you look at that midfield now, Bailey, McGinn, Louise, Ramsey, Tillemans, obviously got Watkins. They've got Torres back in there as well. Doing really, really well, Villa. Anyway, back to this game. We just had a late tackle going on McAllister. He does go down a lot and then gets up. Colwell sort of caught him a little bit late. I don't think it's anything to look at. I love them, but no, it's yeah, it's a foul. Nothing more from that. Mark, loved you on Alice's channel doing the Euros team. Will we see more of her on United Stand, says Joel? Yeah, we've invited her on the forum when she's next up at a United game. So, yeah, definitely good idea. Hi, pal. Hope you and the fam are well. Come on, Chelsea, says Man United fan for life. Why is there anything wrong with being 5'10.5", says Umzi? Well, you're only an inch and a bit. He's only an inch and a half, which is about that big. Bigger than off the magic 6 foot. Who's the ref? Someone in the chat, let us know. Do I consider Hoyland a world-class striker, says Speed? Not at the moment. He wouldn't consider himself a world-class striker yet because he's, you know, he knows he's still got loads to learn. But, God, did we miss him yesterday. Sasha says, how are you, Mark? I'm all right. I'm all right. I mean, look, I'm still very wounded by United yesterday. It's very deflating when you care about a club and it's just roller coaster. But we go again on Wednesday. We've got to go to Forest and play better. I really hope Rashford and Bruno just go and put in a performance that's sort of up yours to me and everybody else, that they can show what they're all about. The worrying thing is, can they do it? Twitch, thank you very much for sharing the video. Hi from Mauritius, as cheeky. Georgeson says, I'm gutted it's not free to watch. As a neutral, I can't watch anything anymore. Cost of living, isn't it, mate? Yeah, I mean, you take it for granted. Big chance for Liverpool there, Canate. Well, I say big chance. A chance. But Liverpool have started off really well. I know how Liverpool fans are. They have strong belief in themselves. And they never, you know, they never doubt it. But they'll know that they're not the team they should be today. Lots of players out. Klopp won't use it as an excuse, but I think it is an excuse. I said this last night about Newcastle. I think when you lose big players for so long, it has to be an excuse. I mean, they're missing a front three. Jota, Salah, Nunez, Szoboszlai. They are missing some big players. Exciting, though. Very exciting. What do you got? What do you got? Good tenacity to the start of the season as well. Start of the game. Harvey Elliott, that's a lovely switch of the play to Robertson. He's got a bit of move. He could have played that into Gakpo. He'd hold his run off. He's gone for the cross to the back post. And Diaz, I think if he'd left it, Gakpo was in behind him. But lovely switch of the play by Harvey Elliott. Robertson there. He knows what he wants to do. He knows the rules. And I think Diaz probably took that wrong, if I'm being honest. But yeah. Thanks to everyone who's getting involved in the podcast as well. Goldbridge Saves Football. You can check it out on Spotify. It comes out on 7 o'clock on a Tuesday and a Friday morning, but we do upload the full video podcast now. We're set up in the Goldbridge Arms, so you can check it out on our podcast section on this channel as well. So thanks everyone who's getting involved in that. Fulham were missing 6 first-team players. They had no excuses and did pretty well, says Treble Champ. Were they? Were they really missing 6 first-team players? I know Polina wasn't playing. Good day, Mark. Was Ronaldo 9's hat-trick at Old Trafford in the Champions League in 03 the best individual performance you've seen again at United? Yes, I've said that before. Yeah, it was very, very good. Set pieces are going to be massive in this game, says Liam. Thoughts on Leeds versus Leicester game? What a thrilling atmosphere. Can I just put my hands up and say I don't know the result? I think they won because I saw Ellis Away Days getting really happy on Twitter on Friday night. So I presume Leeds won. But I'd be lying if I said I knew. Mark, how come your game is always ahead of mine? Even when I refresh, you're always at least a few seconds ahead of my game. I don't actually know because my time is actually not accurate. You've just made me realise. Let me see if I can just... There we go. That's more right. That's more like it. That's more like it. Thanks for the follow, Munya and LG. Appreciate that. Hello, Mark. This is Jack Oliver. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Both teams have defended well in the first 10 minutes. Been a really good midfield battle so far, and there has been phases of decent attack, but both defences have been really good so far. Talking of set pieces, here is a set piece for Chelsea. Apparently there's been a goal for Wolfsburg, if you give a shit. Hello from Southampton, says Harrison. Hello. Right, corner to Chelsea. Ben Chilwell's on it. Good whip to the back post. Kelleher comes and punches away. And I think that'll be a foul on Conor Gallagher, won't it? Yeah. Another chance to whip a cross in. Who would you rather have at Man United, Konate or Thiago Silva? Konate every day of the week, Lil. I was talking about this before. Thiago Silva's a fantastic centre-back, but age profile, there's no future in it, isn't it? Is there? So... Hello from Brighton, says Brighton fan, 12. Troy, thanks for the follow. You're always ahead of the game, Mark, says Jump. I should have said that. Yeah. I've played the game. Harrison says, hi, Mark. You're the best on YouTube. Well, thanks for your support. I don't know about that, but I appreciate your support. Where do you think Alonso will go next season? Cameron Smith, I presume we're talking about Xavi Alonso. I did a video on Friday on this channel. I can't see why he wouldn't go to Liverpool. I've heard people talking about him waiting a year. Gusto with a shot from the edge of the box straight at the keeper. Ryan says, do you hate Chelsea? I don't hate anybody, mate. I don't live in a world of hate. It's a wasted energy. Right, here we go. Bradley, it's a decent ball. It's going to be a bit wide for Diaz in the box. He's in the box, though. He's up against Gusto. Back in. Oh, I tell you what, Gusto was flying into the tackle there. And again, it's strong defence by Chelsea, and they'll come away from it here. They've done well. Again, I said, both defences at the moment have looked really good. And it's not from lack of trying from both sides. Now, here's Alexi McAllister. I'd have a shot from there. And he did, straight at the keeper. It was worth the shot. It was a long way out. But, yeah, both teams really are getting into good attacking positions. But both defences at the moment playing really well. Ollie Phillips, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Fortnite Light says Chelsea are going to win this game. It's been a good game. Been a good game. So, oh, what's going on here? Camera. Camera, come on. Don't you just hate that? It's 2024. Sack the camera guy. What happened? We don't know. You know when they piss off and look at something else, and then there's this. You see the back end of a big chance. Don't know what happened. Who do you think will win the Scottish League? Says Lennon. I don't know, but fair play to Rangers for making a game of it. But what happened is, yeah, pass out from the back. Disasi slips it into this to Diaz. Good shot, good save. Don't think there was anything more he could have done from there. And a good save by Petrovic. Bit of action. Bit of action. Rep, thanks for sharing the video. These are the sort of messages I get from my kids. Can I have some data when you get home, please? They think data grows on trees. They think data for their phone doesn't have a monetary value. How much is it for like 5 megabytes of data? Come on, I don't know. But it does have a value, doesn't it? I don't know why they're not using Wi-Fi, just keeping... Probably out. It's Sunday afternoon, innit? Be hanging around bloody Bullring or something. It's not Seb. Seb thinks he should have a phone. He said, I don't know why I haven't... He said it to me the other day. He says, I really don't understand why I haven't got a phone. You know, I've got things to do. I don't understand why I've got a phone. I ain't got a phone. He's 6. I said, you don't need a phone. He says, I do. I need it for TikTok and messaging people. I'm like, who are you going to message at 6? And he's like, well, you, mummy, my sisters. I might want a drink. I'm like, God, no. No phones before 15. I agree, Ali. I really do. Kelleher doing the Irish proud, says Ryan. There's Disasi. He had a little bit of a slip before, but I thought he was absolutely fantastic against Man City. But again, there could be a yellow card here for Chilwell. He's tripped up Bradley in a good position. I'd be surprised if he doesn't book him. He's gone to his back pocket. Oh, no, I think he's gone for his spray. But it's interesting because Bradley was in a good position there. I mean, is it good to keep your cards in your pockets after 16 minutes? I think he has. Could have been a yellow card there. Not given. So, chance for them to whip in the box here. McAllister's on it. Cross comes in, not good enough. Edge of the box. Harvey Elliott. Oh, some tenacity in that box. I've just seen a funny message. I'd love to repeat it, but it just seems unfair. Hello from Nottingham. I'm not looking forward to Wednesday, says Noah. Whoa, surely you are. I mean, you're at home. I mean, I tell you what, mate. Fulham was second bottom in the league for away wins yesterday, and they thoroughly deserve to beat us. So there you go. We're nearly at 17,000 people watching on YouTube, by the way. You're absolute legends. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I feel that deserves a poll. I'm going to do a little bit of a poll for you to get involved in. And thanks for following us, Anthony, on TikTok. Appreciate that. And FIFA 23 clips as well. Do you think Man United could improve? I think we had improved for 4 games. It's just not, you know, it's a disappointment last night, isn't it? But we go again on Wednesday. I'm going to do an either or here. And I'm going to make it game specific. So let's go with, you know, Robertson Chilwell would have been a decent one if Chilwell didn't get injured as much. So I'm not going to do that. Here's one for you. McAllister, these are two of my players of the season, actually. Low key, underrated. I'll die on this footballing hill. Alexi McAllister or Conor Gallagher. It could be a landslide one way or the other, but for me, 2 players of the season. I think Alexi McAllister for Liverpool has been fundamental to their success, and I think Conor Gallagher at Chelsea has been their shining light. So, who would I like at United? Can I have them both? What age did you get your first phone, says DJ? Me? Remember, I got them when they were invented. I lived in a life when phones didn't exist. So I think I remember getting my first phone. It was this quite big thing that was like grey plastic. I lived in Ireland, so I would have been 20. I think I was 20. Yeah. You look like Gunther from Friends. No, I fucking don't. No, I do not. I'm not having that one. Atik. What age? Colwell, definitely not the new John Terry, says Constantine. Thank you very much for the super chat. I lived in Ryan. I lived in Dublin for 3.5 years. Loved it. I want to go back. If I could live 2 lives, I'd live in Dublin as well. I'd love to go back and live in Dublin. I love it. Oh, Chelsea! What a save by Keller! Oh, what a save! Chelsea! Oh, Chelsea! Oh, Chelsea! I thought they'd scored. Kelleher has just produced an absolute banger of a save. What a save this is! It's about. You know what? I'm ready to go. Chelsea have opened the scoring, and he's absolutely. Look at this save here. Close range from Palmer. I would have been right. Gets stuck under Sterling's feet. Bradley does well, but then it falls into the feet of Palmer. Big hand. Follow-up comes to Jackson. Yeah, he's never going to score. The major bit is Palmer. As soon as it drops to Jackson, you know what happens there. Although it is a good block by, I think was it Van Dijk? But a massive save by Kelleher, that is. And it stays at 0-0. Mark, you remind me of a young Ryan Shawcross. I would guarantee I'm older than your Ryan Shawcross. Where does he play? He's in America, isn't he? Bloody hell, I'm a lot older than Ryan Shawcross. Gusto, good tackle. I tell you what I will say, though. I think Gusto's been really good for Chelsea. But if he's got a weakness, he does dive into the tackle in the box. Ryan Shawcross is only 36. I'm older than him. Where's he been for the last few years? Into Miami. I think he must have retired. I retired in 2022. Been retired for 2 years. He's just one of those players that fell off, isn't he? Moik, thanks for the follow. Blue board analysis in the house. Come on, you Blues, says Blue board analysis. I want Chelsea to lose, says Benjamin, as a United fan. Poll, should Mark give Seb a phone? Well, he's not having one, Alex G. That's not democracy. That's just a decision. Mohammed, welcome to the Members Club. Mohammed Sarif, thank you very much. Welcome to Members Club. John Hugh, Bew, and Sebastian, and Philip, and American. Thank you very much for following us. What's this? What is this Ross Barkley to Man United bollocks, Ollie? I've heard it. I've heard Beth tweeting about it today. Ross Barkley to Man United? No. No. Absolutely no. Is Ross Barkley going to go to bloody Arsenal? Is he going to go to Liverpool? Is he going to go to Man City? What? Why would we buy Ross Barkley? That makes no bloody sense. No. Absolutely not. I've not heard of Shawcross since his Stoke days, says Claydon. Well, he's retired now. True story, I was at Centre Parks in Nottingham about 6 years ago, and he was just sat there with his family around the edge, which I've never understood at Centre Parks. It's horrible. I like Centre Parks, but the people who go and spend all day at swimming pool at Centre Parks, it's horrible. Mark, Young Elvis or Chuck Berry, says Henners. Is that an either or? McAllister has had 71% of the vote ahead of Conor Gallagher in my either or poll. So 71% chose McAllister over Conor Gallagher. We've got another Liverpool player down here at the moment. I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp will be a little bit concerned about that. We've got 18,200 watching on Twitter, on YouTube at the moment. Please do keep sharing the video and smashing a like. It'd be amazing if we hit 20,000. And please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, I agree with Shine Jackson. United aren't taking themselves seriously if they buy Ross Barkley. I mean, that would really worry me. I mean, Ross Barkley's done fantastic for Luton, but if Man United think they're bouncing back with Ross Barkley, then, yeah, we really are going Brexit FC, aren't we? Absolutely not. Well, this is a bad... I mean, it's a bit like Man United for Liverpool at the moment. You get to a point where you think you're jinxed. Salah's not happy about it. Jurgen Klopp's not happy about it. I haven't seen the replay of it. Why are they not showing us a replay? Gravenberch. Are they not going to show us a replay of one of the biggest things that's happened in the game so far? Here we go. It's whether he meant it. I think it's accidental. I'd say if Casido meant that, it's a red. I can't believe this. This is for Liverpool. This is another injury, and he's coming off Gravenberch. But this is almost like what's going on at United at the moment. Like, some teams don't get injuries. I was saying this about Arsenal last night. If you lose Rice or Saka, your season's probably over because they're so important. These injuries are big. They're very, very big. And we've seen it at United. You know, we had Højlund this week, Mount all year, Martinez again, Luke Shaw. They're relentless. Some teams don't really get them. And then some teams just get a ridiculous amount of them. And, I mean, Liverpool's injury record at the moment is awful. We're not even half an hour into their next game and they lose another player. It's almost... I don't know what it is. It's almost like some teams don't really get them and then others get bloody loads of them. I'm going to do a poll whether you think it should have been a red or not. I get the frustrations because you basically lose a player because of it. I don't think he meant it. If he meant it, it's a red, but I don't think he meant it. But it's hard to tell. I think he's... I don't think he meant it, but, you know. Watch The Nice Guys, very underrated movie, says Michael. MSK Edits, thank you very much for your hello. And Fak Tuski, welcome to the Members Club. And can you give a shout out, says DA Sports. I love the content, thank you very much. Shout out to you. I mean, Jurgen Klopp is sort of like, I don't think there was even a yellow card for it. So Gravenberch goes off. I'll tell you what, I just need to retract a minute here. I'm judging this game on like what I believe. Of course, there's a lot of people in the chat making a very, very good point. Don't think Curtis Jones meant it when he got sent off. Don't think Casemiro meant it when he got sent off. When does I meant it mean anything? Well, exactly. But I've got to say, though, yesterday, Harry Maguire, I thought he was going to get sent off, and he didn't. So it's almost like they've changed the rules on the red card. You know, like they've changed the rules on you can get into you can push into a goalkeeper now on corners. I think they've changed the rules on red cards as well. I think they've gone a little bit more lenient again, because I've seen a few recently where I thought, well, that would have been a red card before Christmas, and now after Christmas they're not as severe. Because Maguire yesterday, when I saw it back, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's definitely going to go to VAR, and it didn't. And Gusto did it against Fulham a few weeks ago, and it didn't. So I think they've actually, and it annoys me. You shouldn't be changing the leniency halfway through a season, but I think they have. I mean, and that's the genius of the PGMOL. They change the rules halfway through a season. So anyone who had it before Christmas is penalised. It is silly. I like Man United, and I'm a fan of Man United's MSK edits. Thank you very much. Do you think Mount would have made United's season better if he wasn't injured? This is well, something's better than nothing. Nice chatting to you last week after City versus Chelsea on TalkSport. Up the Chelsea, says Luke. Up you, mate, as well. Not in that way, but you know what I mean. Gusto or Bradley, says Alton. We can do a poll on that. That's a good one. I like that one. We will do that. Casido didn't even get a yellow card, says Stuart Fear. I mean, that's just bad officiating, really. You should just give him a yellow. Please do subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 110,000. We're only 400 away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Casido with another tackle there. Still no yellow card. Liverpool fans are going to be losing it, I suspect. 61% of you said it should have been a red card. 39% of you say no. I think Enzo Fernandez, I'd be interested to see what people think about Casido. I think Enzo Fernandez has been a good signing. Maybe a little bit expensive, but he has been a good signing. I don't think Casido has shown anywhere. I don't think he's looked a £50 million player, let alone 100 million. Claydon Plays, welcome to Members Club. Right, I'm just going to set up this next poll. Gusto against Bradley. Get your votes in. I've been very impressed with Gusto at Chelsea in recent weeks. Thanks for the follow, Rachel and Basti. Lavia is not... I mean, bloody Lavia, Zishan. I mean, Lavia is basically our Mason Mount. What? Talk to me. What's going on with Lavia at Chelsea? Didn't you pay £50 million for him and he's never even been fit? Jackson's through. He looked offside to me. 1-0. He looks offside. No. Yeah. Sterling scores from the cross, but he looked miles off. So, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely injured, Lavia, but... Mark, what was your favourite goal celebration, says Constantine? Let me just watch this back. Oh, I tell you what, it might be a little bit closer than we think. I tell you what, this might be a little bit closer than we think. It's hard to tell from this angle. I can't tell. Kieran says that's onside. Kian, thanks for the follow. I think he is off. I don't know. It's hard to tell from that angle. Is that their VAR angle? They're not drawing lines on that. Fuck off. This is a cup final. You can't be drawing lines on that. He looks off to me, but I don't... Why are they zooming in on such a terrible angle? Well, we're all waiting here. He looks offside, and he is offside. Yeah, it was close, though. It was close. Don't like the angle. Those angles are pitiful for a cup for Wembley, aren't they? Absolutely pitiful. Absolutely pitiful that they're using that angle. I mean, they can still figure it out, but it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. You know why we get shown that angle? Because that's the camera angle they're using. Do you have a preferred team to win this, says Max? Well, yeah, obviously I'd rather Chelsea won it because I'm a Man United fan, so I don't want Liverpool to win. But I wouldn't say I'm passionately engaged in Liverpool not winning. I mean, I'm sort of passionately checked out after yesterday. I'm emotionally dead when it comes to football at the moment. I'm too bruised, but it's nice escapism. Favourite celebration? Look, my favourite celebration, if I'm being completely honest with you, it's always your first one, isn't it? That you remember. You know, my favourite game at Old Trafford was going to Old Trafford the first time, and they lost. But I just, you know, it was unforgettable. And my favourite celebration was the Lee Sharp jig. Not the one where he grabbed the corner flag and did the Elvis thing. The one where he sort of like went like that. Loved it. Oh, cleared away, Chelsea. What part of Dublin were you living in? Well, if I told you I lived in quite a, you know, affluent area called Malahide, it was lovely. Man United is the best, says MSK. Oh, I've just realised, very good point. Gig says, I think he's talking about the chocolates. My favourite chocolate celebration is, it's got to be the Malteser, hasn't it? Although I've got more into Heroes now. Quality Street's been binned off. Their wrappers are rubbish now. I won't be getting a tin of Quality Street next year. But I liked the Heroes this year, and you can't beat a bit of crunchy. Oh, risky pass by McAllister, but he makes it. And then Robertson's gone with a really long ball here. Diaz fancies it, but Gusto has done well, very well. Lovely feet, Gusto. I'll tell you how good I think Gusto is. I mean, 4% of you have gone with Bradley over Gusto. Remember Reece James? What's happening with him? Fitzham says, I can't believe that people who believe that Bradley's better than Gusto. Wow. 21,000 people watching on YouTube, by the way. Wow. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Do the robot, mate. Peter Crouch says Constantine. Reece James doesn't exist as TTV videos. Oh, good bit of a defending there by Robertson. Chelsea are looking the more likely to score at the moment. You just wonder how big an impact that Gravenberch injury has had. Joe Gomez having to drop into the midfield as well. Lee Berman says, do you need a stretch? Probably. M. Slater says, do you find it hard being biased watching other Premier League teams? Hard not being biased. I think sometimes you watch a game and you have a preference. Look, when the 115 are in town and I'm watching them, I want the opposition to win every single time. So I'm going to be biased. Any Man City fan's going to tell you that. I think in a game like this, I think you can just enjoy it, can't you? Favourite sandwich filling, Mark? Says TMAF. Well, I did a video on YouTube of the best sandwich you can make, which is based on the triple decker that you can get in O'Brien's in Ireland. Brilliant sandwich. Literally has 2 layers, piece of toast in the middle, makes it a great texture. Do you think the ref forgot his card? Says T3. He's a shit. This ref's crap. I refuse to say his name, but he's crap. I don't know why he's got the Carabao Cup final. He always looks like he's shit himself. He's a panicker. And he's chaotic. I'd take Bradley over Saka, says Alex G. And Callum says, hi Mark, United could do with another striker in the summer, but who should we or who's the best buy for us in the summer, mate? The summer's a long way away at the moment, Callum. From Man United, we're living day to day here. Hand to fist. No, that's not right. Is it hand to fist? Is there a saying called hand to fist? Or I'm probably watching different categories I shouldn't be mentioning on here. Do you think Casido should have got a red, says M? I think he should have got a yellow. The fact he didn't get a yellow was a joke. I've seen him given. I have seen him given. Thanks for the follow, Tobias. Liverpool's bench is full of kids. Here's Diaz. McAllister. Into Diaz. Robertson with the cross. Post! Well, that's the chance of the game. Gakpo. Robertson with another good cross. Gakpo got his head on it, and the keeper was just planted. He didn't know what to do as he watched it bounce onto the post. Even with another injury, Liverpool still able to make things happen, and probably should have scored, really. Probably should have scored. Is Hoyland injured, says MSK? Yep. If you could, who would you take at Man United, Gusto or Bradley? I'd take Gusto, Fitzham. I would take Gusto. That's not saying that Bradley's not a good player, but I always liked Gusto when he was in France, and I thought again it was a very good signing by Chelsea. Chris Kavanagh, manager for Man United, says Constantine. And would you rather milk a rhino or an elephant, says Reb? Mate, you've got a sick mind. I'm not going to think about that any longer than the question you just asked. Thank you, Fahoud. I think it's going to penalties, says Liam. I think it goes to extra time first, doesn't it? No, I think we'll get a goal. I think we will get a goal. I think we will get a goal. I mean, to be fair, we could have had 2 goals. The save from Kelleher, from Palmer, and Gakpo hitting the post there. Could easily have had a goal there. 4 minutes to go to half time. But as I've said before, I don't think Chelsea will have a better chance of winning a trophy this season. I know they're still in the FA Cup, but so is Man City. So's a few other teams. This is a great opportunity for them to get something, and especially with Liverpool losing another player to injury in the bench that they've got, it just isn't easy for Liverpool. I mean, I don't know how long Salah and Nunez are going to be out for, but the fact that Klopp didn't even want to risk them on the bench, I don't think they're far off, but it'll be a concern. Three minutes to go to half time. How are you watching it, Mark? Says Harry. It's on something called a TV. I think they invented it in the 50s, but it's great. So basically, it's like a picture of the game, and they're all moving around. Amazing. If Madrid get Mbappe, their front 3 plus Bellingham combined would be younger than Clint Eastwood, and you can argue they're the best in the world, says Lucas. 30 more minutes or penalties after 90-minute draw, says Man United 8888. I'd rather go straight to penalties. I don't see the point in I don't really see the point in going to extra time at this stage of the season. I would notice you, but I can't read your username. It's in a language I can't understand. Who's winning the league, says Liam. I still think Man City are favourites, but there's a long way to go when we've definitely got a title race. We're only 200 subscribers away from 110,000. Please keep subscribing. Bottom right-hand corner. Let's see if we can hit that on Cup Final day. I haven't decided what watch-alongs we're going to do for the rest of the week. I know there's Premier League at the weekend. I'm doing Man United Forest on Wednesday on United stand. But here's Diaz down the left-hand side. Liverpool have been more progressive in the last few minutes. He's into the box. He wants to shoot. He gives it to Harvey Elliott. Comes back to Diaz. Bradley. Blocked. Good defending again. And I've said this so many times this game. There has been attacks from both teams, but the defences are putting their bodies on their line and they are playing very, very well so far. But it's Diaz up against Gusto again, and this time it does get cleared. He's been a very important player for them, Diaz, so far. Jaden says, who's getting relegated? Wow, Sheffield United are getting relegated, aren't they? 100%. Burnley are getting relegated. If somebody can explain to me why Vincent Kompany's not been sacked, I mean, that is incredible to me. Burnley were an established Premier League side. They went down for 1 year. They come back, and now it's acceptable to perform like that because, you know, in the Championship, he played some good football. I don't know what Burnley are playing at with Vincent Kompany. It's hilarious. But, yeah, they're definitely going down. And I think you know, Luton are doing a great job, but it really will come down to what happens with Everton and Nottingham Forest, not only on the pitch, but what happens with them and the financial fair play, because that could be a real get-out. I don't see Crystal Palace or Brentford or anyone like that getting involved in it. I really don't. Wolves did beat Sheffield United 1-0, by the way. Sarabia with the goal. That puts Wolves up into 8th position. Wolves are now above Newcastle in the league. 2 points ahead of West Ham as well. 3 points ahead of Chelsea. Only 6 points behind Manchester United. So they're in a good position, Wolves. And I think we all know Wolves could have had another 6 or 7 points if VAR hadn't robbed them as well. Great block by there, Colwell. 6 minutes added on at the end of this first half. We have had a few breaks, and Diaz is coming more and more into this game for Liverpool. The Gusto against Diaz dynamic has been very interesting so far. Mojo says, do you think Arteta would leave Arsenal for Barcelona? Well, it would be amazing if he did do that, considering there are still elements who want to... Gomez and Chilwell having a bit of a shove there. Canate breaking up Jackson and Gakpo. It's just a... Yeah, I like all this sort of stuff anyway. Bit of pushing and shoving. He might get his yellow cards out now. Yeah, he's found them. Chilwell and Bradley get booked. Yeah. Didn't really see what caused it, but I think they both fell on the top of each other. Wasn't really much going on. I don't really know if I don't really think you need to book people for that. Like, they fell on top of each other, a bit of shoving and pushing. It's a cup final. Let it go. Frozen, the sequel. How is Casido playing so far, says Lud. Apparently Bradley went for a headbutt. I didn't see that. I wouldn't have booked either of them for that. I really wouldn't. I often wonder what the PGMOL are trying to do to football, because it's 11 human beings playing a high competitive sport that we're meant to all... It's a funny one, isn't it? Because we're advertised as fans to be passionate and love this game. It's the best game in the world. It really matters. The passion, the rivalry. And then when a couple of players push and shove each other, yellow card. It's the contradiction, isn't it? They hype it up and take our money for, you know, this amazing, passionate, you know, league. And then a couple of players push each other, yellow card. We don't want that in the game. Like, they're killing the game. Right. What's your take on United having the highest net spend since Ten Hag became United manager? I don't believe he should get the sack, but I don't think he'll ever be good enough to win any major trophies, says Abraham. I think net spend's irrelevant when so many players are out injured. Because it's a contradiction, isn't it? You're saying, well, he spent all this money and he's not doing well. But then I'll say, but he's got loads of injuries and he's not doing well. So it's sort of, that cancels each other out, I think. Hi, Mark, from a Caribbean Arsenal fan. Have you ever been to the Caribbean before? If not, which island would you like to visit? Says Jordan. That's a geography trap, because if I say an island that's not in the Caribbean, I make myself look a bloody idiot. So I'm just going to go safe and say I'd love to go Jamaica. If Hoyland was in Man United Fulham, he would have a goal. Oh, we would have won, MSK. We would have won. Still 0-0, Ollie. Still 0-0. Cross comes in, headed away. The frame VAR used for the offside Chelsea goal, the ball was already well off Palmer's foot, let alone Jackson was actually onside, says Max. Look, there's been a couple of controversial things in this half. First of all, should Casido have got a red card for ending Gravenberch's game? Some say yes. Majority said yes. Secondly, this is a cup final on a tight offside, and they're doing it on an angle that looks like it was taken from a Nokia 3210 at Trafalgar Square. The angle is terrible, and the imagery is terrible. And I'm telling you now, the reason they're showing you that angle is because that's the angle they're working off. And what they'll do is they'll use that shit angle and they'll get their little markers out and they'll try and figure it out. It's incredible that there is so much money in football and they are using angles like that. And as I understand it, and I don't know everything, and that's why we have a community, because someone in the community will, but in the Champions League, it's instantaneous, and I don't know how they do it. Somebody said it's something to do with the ball, but I don't know how a ball makes an offside line. But yeah, the system we use in England is shit. The equivalent of... hold on a minute. Bradley with the cross cleared away. But it is factually shit. And, you know, it looked offside to me. But if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm like, why do we have VAR then? And look, in fairness to Chelsea fans, what I will say is VAR makes no difference to you because the linesman gave offside anyway. So it's not been overruled for offside. He gave offside anyway. So you wouldn't have got to get it. Hi, Mark. There are cameras for Olympic sprinters, but why aren't there any cameras that are parallel to the players for a clear offside, says Dave? I don't know. They can afford to do it as well. They can afford to do it. Who is worse at what they do, PJMOL or Gabby Agbonglahor, says Reb? Well, Gabby Agbonglahor, in fairness, gets paid money to go and talk on a radio show. The PJMOL get paid to make the whole of the Premier League and anything that operates VAR in the UK a better sport. So PJMOL are worse because they have more responsibility. Gabby just has to turn up and talk what he wants. PJMOL is meant to be providing for better game. Ivan, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Half-time hits, still 0-0. Lots of people really talking about that red card for Casido. I think we've had an interesting half where both teams have certainly pushed, and, you know, Fulham, still a fucking Fulham. Piss off, Fulham. Chelsea certainly could have scored a goal, but it was a great save by Kelleher. And then Liverpool heading against the post with Gakpo. So we've seen chances, but defences have held firm so far. Could it be a repeat of a couple of years ago where it goes to extra time and penalties? it's got that sort of vibe to it already, hasn't it? But I do think we'll get a goal. I just think it will remain tight. And it's been a fascinating one so far. Seriously. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at the chat. Who do you think's winning? Says Sheezy. This then it will be Man United 3-1. I don't know what MSK. You sound like you're going through some trauma with the United result yesterday. It's over, mate. Do you think Liverpool medical department could help culpable for the injuries, or do you think it's just a result of high number of games? Says Jaffa. And Mark, I've had corners bets and there has only been one so far. Can you put in a word, please? Says Joe Oakham. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just knock this out. Chilwell, Bradley. Chilwell's better than Bradley. Terrius, thank you very much for the follow there. If Chelsea win, they are guaranteed European football, says Newham. Yeah, Conference League. Conference League. Mark, I've had a corners bet and there has only been one so far. Can you put in a word, please, says Joe. Thank you very much. What is the corners bet? What is the corners bet? Let's have a look at the stats at half time here. I think they were just up. Oh, actually, before we do that, don't forget, we're sponsored by Surfshark. Download it for free, VPN. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. 3 months free and 83% off with the code THATSFOOTBALL. Get your VPN changed to Surfshark. Try it out. Or if you've never tried one before, give it a go. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. Big shout out to Surfshark. Right, here's the stats for you. I'm going to pause it there. And as you can see, MSK thinks Man United are going to win the FA Cup. Can't score with your arm, shouldn't count for offside, says Zach. And if Chelsea win, they are guaranteed. I've done that one from Newham. So there we go. We've had 54% possession for Liverpool. They've had 8 shots to Chelsea's 3. 3 shots on target to Chelsea's 2. 84% possession. And we've had 1 corner for Chelsea. You know, really, Liverpool have edged it based on that first half. But I don't think they've edged it enough to... I don't like saying that word. I don't think they've edged it enough. I've done it again. I don't think they've edged it enough to be, you know, in front Liverpool. And I think Chelsea is still very much in this game. And let's be honest, we spoke about it before kickoff that Liverpool were going to have more possession and Chelsea probably were going to counter-attack. On the red card... yeah, on the red card, I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel that it's look, if it happened to Bruno Fernandes in a game like a cup final and Casido did that, I'd be absolutely fuming. There's no doubt about it. If Casido got sent off and I was a Chelsea fan, I'd probably be equally fuming. I think it's one of those, isn't it? I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you're like, why is it not a red card? And if you're a Chelsea fan, you're going to say he slipped and he didn't mean it. So, but this is the passion of football, isn't it? Because you can probably live with that better if you're a Liverpool fan if Gravenberch just gets up. But because he goes out of the game and it's another injury, you're like, well, we've just lost a player for that tackle. So I can see both sides on it. And I think the fact that Gravenberch goes off on a stretcher means that you are going to be pissed off. Now, a lot of people are saying in the chat, well, what about Curtis Jones? He didn't mean it against Spurs. And again, I think this goes back to the PGMOL, doesn't it? Because inexplicably, they have changed the rules on red cards. I've noticed it in the last few weeks. That I've just seen the Casido challenge there. At the start of the season, that's a red card. It's reckless. You know, it is. It's a reckless tackle. And we saw Curtis Jones get sent off for it, and we saw Gusto get sent off for it at the start of the season. But since the new year, I see Gusto against Fulham do a tackle like that, not a red card. Maguire against Fulham yesterday, not a red card. So there is consistency that it's not a red card. But you've got to ask the question again. Why is the PGMOL halfway through the season changed the rules on red cards? Because we all know before Christmas it's a red. But in the new year, it's not. And this is the thing. We tolerate it. We tolerate this ignorance and stupidity. You change things in the summer. You don't change them halfway through a season because you break the integrity of the league and of the tournaments, because it's not fair on the teams that did get red cards that aren't now getting them. So, but I have noticed that, and I think that's my only explanation, is that we've seen 3 or 4 of those tackles since Christmas not get a red card. So there must be some sort of change in policy that they don't want to see red cards for that sort of thing. I don't know, because VAR's not picking up on it. They're not picking up on it at all. Hi Mark, massive fan and of all your content. Do you think that Chelsea should have a red? Jones was sent off, no issue before. Keep well, says Daniel. Well, as I said there, I think that you can understand both sides really. I think if they'd given the red card, Chelsea fans would have said, I watched Man United Fulham yesterday and Maguire didn't get one. So, yeah. Mark, I see you put full focus on blaming players now. Glazer's not in control of the football club side anymore. Be Ten Hag soon, says Joe. No, I haven't done that. And maybe you want to listen to my videos. I think Man United's going to have done that from MSK. Real Enzo says, the second point we want to know about is what's your thoughts on the offside goal? I think it looked offside. And you've got to remember that the on-field linesman did give it offside, so Chelsea can only be rescued by VAR. The problem with that is the angle is incredible. That's incredible, and they're working off that angle, by the way. They have a system in place where they look at body parts and draw lines, but they're doing it off that shit angle, and you sort of find yourself there gobsmacked, because you go, this is the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, Wembley, and it's minted. It's absolutely loaded, and they don't have money to make that work or not. It's baffling. It really is. I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. So, yeah, but I'm gonna if I remember to do it over the next couple of weeks, I'm actually gonna read about what they do in the Champions League, because the Champions League is instantaneous and it uses that line, doesn't it, where you can see a body part move after it. But you shouldn't have that at Wembley. Like, Wembley's a new stadium. I would expect Wembley that maybe they would have the tracks there for a camera. But it did look offside. It did look offside. The problem is, when you see an angle like that, you're quite rightly going to go, I don't know if I can trust that. What's your take on the Brighton red card, Mark, says Murray? Haven't seen it. And I will happily take a look at that for the podcast this week. I wanted to start saying that to you all as well. If you do listen to the podcast, Goldbridge Saves Football, comes out on a Tuesday morning, Spotify, iTunes. We do like Prat of the Week, where we have contenders for Prat of the Week based on bad decisions or stupid comments, etc. And if you want to, we do upload it on the Wednesday morning as well, so it goes up visually on the Wednesday on this channel. But if you want to get involved in the show and give us some ideas about what you want us to discuss, then I will take a look at that Brighton red card. I can't guarantee that we'll look at everything, but if you think there's some big comments from the week or something, then I'm happy to take a look at it. And it sounds like that Brighton red card might have been dubious. Chelsea going to win 1-0, says JW. And not even a yellow for that Casido challenge is mad. A blind man can navigate the world more completely than PGMOL. Well, I definitely, Vengeance, I mean, that's a great point. Whether you think it's a red or not, I definitely think you should have given a yellow. I think to say that's absolutely fine is remarkable. And I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will have something to say. about that. Mark, why is it that some of the people whose careers you made are now referring to you as goldfish and being nasty, says Rahul. I don't know, mate. I don't get it. Please don't try and drag me into it, because they're using my name for their own purposes, and good luck, you know. But I'm not interested in it. I don't watch, I don't listen, I don't read, and I don't know what their issue is, because I certainly am not referring to them. I would have to know what they've said to do that, and I don't. And I wish them all the best in their future careers. Can you do a Maidstone United watch-along tomorrow, says James. No. And is the in the MLS they don't have goal line technology, says Connor. I don't watch it, so I don't know. I don't know. Bradley booked for Chilwell grabbing him up, says Liam. Wow, yeah, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Chilwell and Bradley shouldn't have been booked. Casido should have had at least a yellow. So, you know, they want to generate this exciting league, and it's, you know, if you push somebody, you get a yellow card for it. It's incredible. I tell you what, it's a shame. It's a shame Seb doesn't have a phone, because I'd really like a cup of tea. Imagine it goes on to penalties, says MSK. Well, we've seen it before. Keep your name out your mouth, Mark, says Zeno. I don't know what that means. Imagine it goes... Chelsea fans are a waste of oxygen, says Quag. Hey, come on, calm down. And Dan Elias says, it really does kill the joy of football when we always have to talk about stupid referee decisions. The PGML treat the fans like they're idiots. Well, they're dictators, mate. I've always said that. We are only 50 subscribers away from 110,000 on subscribers on YouTube. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. The second half is about to start. Thanks for the follow from Alec as well on TikTok, and Cavi and Kyle and Bryce. Appreciate that. There is what I will say is there is absolutely no doubt that Jurgen Klopp is absolutely fuming, and there is an underlying understanding points there that Liverpool's injury list at the moment going into this game was Trent, Matip, Szoboszlai, Jota, Nunez, Salah, Curtis Jones. I feel like I'm missing somebody else out as well. And Alisson. And now it's Gravenberch as well. You know, 8 arguable first-team players out injured at the moment, which is, you know, incredible, really. Yeah. Players are coming out on the pitch. Casido having a bit of a chat there. You know the rules, says Football 212. You know the rules. Right, let me get ready for this here. Chelsea about to kick it off. Is Thiago injured? Is Thiago Silva injured? I don't know. Look at all the corporate fans there, look. The red seats, that's the corporate section. They're all quaffing their champagne and eating their prawn sandwiches. The corporate side of football. I'd never not be back in my seat, you know, for half-time kickoff. It's a different world. It's a different world. Early corner here for Liverpool. Let me just get the stats carousel rolling around for you. Andy Robertson's going to take it. Comes to Bradley. Good tackle on the edge. Chelsea looking to break, but Liverpool win it. And a shot wide from Endo. Sorry, I apologise for this. I'm just gifting some data, which I forgot to do. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm just that sort of guy. Anyone want to gift them any data while I'm logged in? I don't even use my data. It's just my kids saying, can you give me some data? I've got 90 gigabytes because basically I use Wi-Fi. I use Links Africa. Yeah, anyway, that's done now. It's 0-0, footy. It's 0-0. Phil Mitchell says, who was better, Robben or Salah? Salah. I mean, I'll do the poll, but you know this. I tell you what, recency bias is definitely a thing, but also I call it red tinted bias, where players from the past get overhyped. Robben was very good, but he's nowhere near as good as Salah. But I've done a poll for you. Get your votes in. This game could be a one-goal game. I think if whoever scores first is capable of keeping a clean sheet. You'd have to say, though, is there an argument? I'm going to say this, and I don't want to. It doesn't really matter to me, but if Chelsea don't win this game, it will be massively embarrassing because they've basically got their best team out, and Liverpool are missing a lot of players. So it would be Chelsea need to win this, don't they? I mean, they need to win it anyway. And we always say, well, Liverpool are doing really, really well at the moment, and they are. But they have got a lot of big players out. Like, if I was playing Liverpool without Salah, Nunez, Jota, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Alisson, Trent in a cup final, and I've really not got that many injuries, I'd be saying, come on, we should be winning this game. So as much as we say Chelsea the underdog, are they really the underdog? Who do you think is going to win, MSK? I said Chelsea would win, but I think Liverpool so far. Just woke up. How was the first half? Says a Toure. It was quite good. It would have been a straight red for Casemiro if he'd done that foul that Casido did, says Irish Zombie. Murray, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. And Chris Charlton says, if Liverpool had their best players, this game would be over. It doesn't always work like that, though, does it? To be fair. Would you go on I'm a Celebrity, says the Football 212? I think it'd be an interesting thing to do. I mean, the paycheck would have to be big. I wouldn't do it as a favour. You know, some people go on there and they need it for their career. I don't need it. I'd want to be paid very, very well, because I think I'd struggle with being stuck in one place for that period of time. I'd get quite claustrophobic. But if I was paid well, I'd do it. And I know that sounds mercenary, but I never would have gone on Big Brother. I can't stand the idea of being around the same people for a long period of time in a small environment. And I think I'd get myself kicked out of there on purpose quickly if I didn't like it. At least I'm honest. I'll always be honest. What's the point in pretending? I've just put a WhatsApp message in for a cup of tea. Are you going to catch Dune Part 2 at the cinema? It's brilliant, says Nelly. Hopefully I will do, yeah. I've read the book. Robben has won so much more. Salah has only done well at Liverpool. But look, you asked me a question. I think it's Salah. And I did like Robben, but I think it's Salah for me. I think Salah's underrated. I don't know why. I've never really understood it, but Fusion says this ref. My predictions for first goals were Diaz for Liverpool and Palmer for Chelsea. And he nearly did score, Palmer. It was a good save by Kelleher. But the defences have been on top so far. Oh, here we go. Now, this is what Chelsea want to do. And Bradley's got to be careful because he is on a yellow card. I saw him just going in on Sterling there. It was never going to be a foul, but it did make me think, you know, he is in a position where he could... Gallagher. This should be a goal. Oh, my God. All he needed to do. Enzo Fernandez tried to do something with a back heel. It's a game of rugby. He just needed to pass it one more pass, and Cole Palmer was there. Currently having a bad flu. Hopefully Liverpool win and brighten up my day, says Jay. Get better soon, mate. Get better. I'm about to jinx myself here, but I haven't had a bad cold. I can't remember the last time I had one. It might have been like November or something like that. And that's really unusual for me. I'm sort of like thinking, what is this wizardry? What have am I just lucky, or have I changed something? I don't know. I'll get one now, Keenan. You're right. Enzo just needed to pass that one more pass. Lucas and Enzo, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Fox says it's a boring game. I don't want to out you, Fox, but I was waiting for somebody to say that because I don't think it's a boring game at all. I think you can have a really good 0-0. I'm not saying it's a classic 0-0, but I don't think it's a bad game by any stretch. I think it's... as somebody that obviously doesn't support either of these teams, I'm actually quite enjoying it. The stakes are high. I think both defences are doing well. ELS says, thoughts on the charity match? If you're talking about the one on Friday, I was just gutted I didn't get to play. I always get overlooked. I think it's because they think I'm old or irrelevant. I don't know. But then again, Thogden was in it. Mark, do you think the title race is on after Man United's performance against Fulham, says Shane Smith? What have we got to do with the title race? Man United have got about as much to do with the title race as James Corden's got to do with winning an Oscar. R says, are you ever going to come to Australia? I'd like to, mate. I'd like to. It's still 0-0, says MSK. Nice ball over the top. Petrovic is there. I still think I think Chelsea is still very much counter-attack, and Liverpool are still very much the more possession-based progression. Who would you rather win the league, Liverpool or City, says Aaron? I've answered this a few times now. Man City. I'd rather City win the league. I prefer Liverpool. I think Liverpool... I don't prefer... Liverpool have got more credibility than Man City as a football club. But that's why I'd rather Man City win the league. Because if Liverpool win it, they equal up with our 20 times. And Liverpool are our big rival. There's a credibility to our rivalry. So I don't want... In a way, it's a respectful thing. Because it's saying Liverpool winning something matters more. But that's why I'd choose Man City, yeah. Ooh, here's Palmer. Wait, let's see what happens here. He's going to shoot from distance, goes wide. I was just having a think there about the week's next sort of watch along. There's no Monday night football. There's an FA Cup game tomorrow night, Coventry against Maidstone. That's what the Maidstone fan was talking about earlier, probably. Oh, no, there is a Premier League game tomorrow. West Ham against Brentford. Luton, Man City, Blackburn, Newcastle and Bournemouth against Leicester on Tuesday. Not interested in that. Chelsea play Leeds on Wednesday in the FA Cup. Forest against Manchester United. Wolves against Brighton and Liverpool against Southampton. You'd fancy Chelsea against Leeds, wouldn't you? What's happened to the 12:30 games on a Saturday? There's not one again this week. I can't speak. I don't know why they're not doing it. I have to do the 3 o'clock games. Man United, Man City next week. Fucking waste of time, that. Can I just apologise to Arsenal and Liverpool fans right now? Don't think, because it's a Manchester derby, we might get you a couple of points off Man City in your title race. I'm telling you now for free. I apologise. We are going to have no impact on the title race in your favour next week. That is going to be, guess the score. That's going to be how many do Man City win by. There is absolutely no way that we're going to do anything next week against Man City. And I apologise for that. I wish we would, but we won't. Anyone want to disagree with me? Davinch, if I've just jinxed it, great. Mate, thank you very much for your sticker there. Hold on, let's see what happens here. Gakpo's on the far-hand side. Cross. Harvey Elliott on the volley. And Petrovic pushes it away. I'm just having a look who's on the telly in the FA Cup. Here's Diaz. Over the bar. Outside of the box. FA Cup TV games. Oh, that's not what I want to watch. Get rid of that. Who do you think you are? FA Cup TV games. EA Sports. It's in the game. Oh yeah, Man United are on BBC One on Wednesday. Chelsea are on ITV4. Liverpool are on ITV1. If my gran was still alive, rest in peace, she'd be moaning like mad. She'd be like, I can't believe it. BBC One and ITV have got football on the telly. Blackburn Newcastle's on BBC One. ITV1 for Luton Man City. I'd love Luton to get something, but I can't see it. Hi Mark, do you think Szoboszlai could win the Ballon d'Or? Just subscribed and I love your channel, says mate. I don't know. I mean, I don't really think Szoboszlai's going to be a Ballon d'Or winner. Conor Gallagher there. I don't think he got booked. Salah got 69% of the vote on over Robban, by the way. Thank you very much. Over 21,000 watching on YouTube. Legends, please do subscribe. We're only 10 away from 110,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. And Aaron's going to give us a really controversial comment here, which I'll read in a moment after this Liverpool free kick. Cross is going to come in from Andy Robertson. Angled it in. Oh, there we go. Van Dijk, 1-0. He's done it again. Somebody said it in the chat. Somebody said it in the chat that Van Dijk had scored the first goal. And it's Andy Robertson's left foot again. He's put 3 good crosses in this game. One of them was over the bar from Diaz. One of them hit the post from Gakpo. And one of them's hit the back of the net from Van Dijk. And you can't underestimate the quality of Andy Robertson coming back into this Liverpool side. It's a very good header from Van Dijk. Chelsea have got half an hour to turn this around. They're playing against an injured FC of Liverpool. And yet they've still found their way. And it'll be very disappointing from Chelsea. You'd expect them to be on set pieces decent. I don't know how Van Dijk finds himself up against Ben Chilwell. These things always baffle me in football. You know, you spend all week and all this money analysing football and you put Ben Chilwell on Van Dijk. I mean, I don't want to be heightist, but it's like Bilbo Baggins going up against Tyson Fury. It's a mismatch. And you wonder why they do it. And you'll probably see Disasi not marking anyone because they've all gone zonal. It's madness. But it's a deserved lead, says Joa, and it's 1-0 to Liverpool. Claydon Play says, get in. They should have a fight rule like ice hockey, says Connor. Thanks for the follow, UTG and Theo. And Liverpool take a lead at a very, very good time here. Of course, they don't need to go pressing now. They can sit back a little bit. And Chelsea will have to go on the front foot. They're checking for a possible offside. I don't know what they're looking for. Where? What are we looking for here? Am I missing something? It's going to VAR. What? I'm confused here. I'm absolutely confused. Checking for possible offside for Endo. Why? Even I don't really understand. Oh, because he gets in the way of... Colwill. I think if this gets ruled out, which it probably will, I'm sort of confused. He's got... That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I think that's absolutely a joke. So it stays 0-0. Apps. You know what? I find it difficult because obviously it's a Liverpool goal, so you sort of like, oh, I'm quite happy about that. But I despair. I despair at the game. It's just incredible. It really is incredible, and I'll explain the point. That to me is a goal. Like I don't understand why you'd go looking for that. It's just looking for stuff, and I'm not a big fan of this. It's like when they sent Casemiro off against Palace and he's looking for somebody grabbing somebody when there's loads of other stuff going on. It's over officiating of a game. We want goals. We want goals in games. We don't want reasons to rule goals out, and it's over officiating. Now Endo blocks off Colwill. I don't think he blocks him off. And I don't think Colwell's getting anywhere near the cross. So I think you've ruled out a very straightforward goal there. But also, that's VAR stepping in to take a goal out of the game, but they don't step in to look at that red card. It's fascinating. It really, really is. It's absolutely fascinating how they want to officiate games of football these days. I'm stunned by that, really. That cross is not going anywhere near Colwill. It's looping and dropping onto the head of Van Dijk. Colwell's nowhere near the trajectory of that. He's never getting anywhere near it. Never getting anywhere near it. Now, Endo knows what he's doing. But it's not enough for me, that. I tell you what, the way I always look at it is, if that goal had been given, would Chelsea fans have had a fucking clue what had gone on? No. This happened to Man United. This happened to us against Fulham. Not yesterday. We played Fulham at Craven Cottage in autumn. Same thing happened to us. We scored a legit goal, and then it was offside, and then they found this reason not to give the goal, and Fulham fans were like, well, I never would have known that. So, yeah. Let's do a poll. Should it have been a goal? But they don't help themselves, do they? Because they've missed what potentially was a red card in the first half, and Liverpool would have benefited. And then they've gone and found a reason not to give a Liverpool goal. So what they've actually done is they've done Liverpool twice in one game, and they don't seem to think about that, do they? They don't seem to think we probably missed one in the first half, so in the second half let's fuck them again. It's weird. The officiating in the game is up a bollock, says Murray. Lucas, thanks for your super chat. Young Ben says it was offside. You know what it is? You get, as I said, it reminds me of the Fulham goal that Maguire scored that wasn't given a few months ago. When you see a goal and you watch the replay, as a football fan who's watched football for years, you get the feel of whether there's some reason to give it or not. And I watched that back, and at no point did I think anything had gone wrong until you see VAR review, and then you're like, oh, and that's the thing. This is the thing. If I was Howard Webb, this is the thing I would say. If you watch that goal back and you don't see anything that makes you think that might be a reason not to give it, don't go fucking looking for it. Because you piss everybody off. Like, you're acting like some sort of fucking a geek. Stop going looking for stuff that people don't see. Watch the goal, watch it back. If there's nothing obvious, give the goal. But they go looking for stuff, and it's irritating because we don't want to be the NFL. NFL, I watched the Super Bowl the other week, and you'll think something's happened, and then the flag will go up, and they'll show it back, and it'll be someone pulling something that you're not seeing, and you're like, okay, got to trust the referee. But football's not about that. Football's meant to be in depth, and you feel part of it as a fan. They're taking it away from the fan. They're showing you things you don't want to see. They're showing you things that I don't want to sit there and go, oh, well done, referees. You found something I haven't seen. They're not good enough for that. They're not good enough for that. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Zeno says, ref in the studio said ball dropped where Colwell would have been, so gets why they gave it. Yeah, Zeno, I'll tell you for free, that ball ain't going anywhere near Colwell's head. And that referee should, retire straight away, because that's just disrespectful to the quality of someone like Robertson. There ain't no way that's dropping anywhere near Colwell's head. Corrupt says, Nkunku goal winner incoming. Sam Richards says the game is already becoming like NFL. Mate, I don't listen. What's a studio ref anyway? Why do we need it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh when I don't watch it anyway, so I can't pretend that I do. But it makes me laugh when you see Dermot Gallagher clips on Twitter on a Monday morning, or Mike Dean, who's there on the Soccer Saturday show or whatever. It makes me laugh, because I'm like, we've already got shit officials. Why do I need a retired shit official backing them up on TV? I think the ref expert thing in football is an absolute waste of time. I don't know why anybody retweets it. I don't know why anybody puts up with it. I don't know why they don't get rid of it. Right? Like, we've never had a good referee in this country. Why would you give a retired referee a job as the expert? It's pointless. I'd rather listen to Gary Neville or Jamie Carragher talk about it. I don't need a crap retired referee telling me what their mate's done was right. I think it's one of the worst advancements in football, actually. Why have we got a retired referee sat there backing up their mate, going, yeah, it is this? Bollocks, fuck off. What do they know? They're rubbish. They're absolutely rubbish at their job. It's like double down, isn't it? It's like having two bouts of the shits. Colwell run was expected to be in the same space as Virgil's header. He could have stopped it. Endo could have not stopped Colwell, says Robinson Crusoe. Well, I respect your opinion, but I've watched it 5 times, and at no point do I think Colwell's getting anywhere near the trajectory of that ball. I think it's fantasy. If you look at the way Van Dijk and Chilwell move as soon as the ball's free, the kick is kicked, they've got the jump on Colwill. Regardless of Endo, he's not getting on the end of that. It's pure fantasy that Colwell's going to get where that ball landed, considering Van Dijk and Chilwell left him about a second before he moved. He ain't covering a second in that time. They've gone before he went. He's not the Flash. Exactly the smelly. He's not. Michael says, I'm biased as a Chelsea fan, but Endo's in an offside position and blocks Carwell, who's marking Van Dijk. It's soft, but it's a foul. Mate, you're right, Michael. You are right. My issue is he's never getting on that ball, and they've gone looking for something they didn't need to go and look for. I guarantee you, Michael, as a Chelsea fan, if that goal had been given, you wouldn't be in the chat saying it's a foul on Colwill. And that's my problem. They're looking for stuff that we're not seeing it. I didn't see it. No Chelsea fan would have seen it. No Liverpool fan saw it. They've gone and looked for something that wasn't there. No, 72. Well, we might be heading to extra time here. Aaron Mackenzie says, can you read my chat? I'm just catching up on them, mate. Hi, Mark. Do you think women should host and be pundits on men's football? Women's Football League is League 1 or 2 standard, maybe even lower. They don't have the same experience as Roy Keane or Ian Wright. Aaron. Okay. Last time I tried to read this, I was saved by a goal. And I nearly was then. But Nkunku was covering back. So the question is, do you think women should host and be pundits on men's football because their standard of football isn't very good and they don't have the experience as Roy Keane or Ian Wright? But in fairness, mate, what we're talking about here is gender. Do you think I or you could commentate or host a show on men's football? Well, what's his name did it? Jake Humphries did it. He never played the game. I reckon I could host I reckon I could host a show. I reckon I could talk to Ian Wright and Roy Keane about football. I mean, we're doing it now. There's 25,000 of us. So, yeah. So basically you're saying, I think the point is not whether they're a woman or a man. The point is whether they as an individual are capable of doing it. And the problem with modern society is that we put people into positions based on things like gender and other things because they feel they have to do it, when actually it should be about quality. Of course women can host and present about football, but they've got to be good enough to do it. That's the question. If you've got a problem with a woman presenting or hosting football, it's probably nothing to do with the fact that they're a woman and more to do with the fact that they're not very good at it, which is absolutely fine. The problem we have in society now is that people get put into positions because of what they are, not because of how good they are. And when Laura Woods was presenting Talk Sport fantastically well on The Breakfast Show for years, she was very, very good at it. Very, very good at it. It's got nothing to do with the fact that she was a woman. But if you put another woman in that position and she's not very good at it, then you might say she's in that position because she's a woman, because they want a woman to present it. And it should actually be about ability. And so, yeah, definitely I think women can present and talk about football. Of course they can. I don't think it should be about gender. It's about ability. Good question, though, Aaron. I know they're awful, but Chelsea has a really strong young core with a lot of spending money. With the right manager, they'll be good soon, says Lucas. So you want to sack the manager. Next thing you know, they'll disallow a goal in the 86th minute because Gerrard is offside standing in front of Anelka. Refs engineering imaginary plays, says Vengeance. And China says, outrageous. I'm done with VAR. It was a clear and obvious error. This re-officiating, disgusting. And the retired TV refs always find a justification for their mates. And Football 212 says, have you ever seen Minority Report film? That reminds me of stoppaging a crime before it's taken place, is the Football 212. I'm a big fan of Chelsea VAR FC. Big up the refs, says Goliath. Leo says it was never a foul on Colwill. London VAR team strike again, says Shay. Chelsea just hit the post while I was trying to catch up then. How is it 0-0, says Fennec? Well, I think we're heading... I think extra time's coming up, isn't it? Extra time's coming in here. Colwell, Gallagher with the shot onto the foot of the post from a cross. Could we get a late winner, though? Jono, thanks for the follow. Should it have been a goal? 76% of you said yes. 24% of you said no. Liverpool on the attack. Back post. Andy Robertson puts the header into the box. That'll be cleared away. I hope Klopp leaves Liverpool with no trophies, says JR. Chelsea on the break here. Watch Conor Gallagher in the middle. He's made a very good run. Konate makes a very good tackle. Big Dog says Joe Gomez last minute winner. Never scored for Liverpool, apparently. Never scored a goal in his career, apparently. Temple says Gallagher and Kovacic looked good. Kovacic looked good last year. Now they both look great. You call Mount rubbish because he didn't have a good year at Chelsea. Be fair. I haven't called Mount rubbish. I love it. I love it when people make stuff up. I haven't said Mount's rubbish. Pundits seem to be instructed to defend the referees, says Shahin. Yeah, I think that changed about after the Liverpool goal that should have been given. I think a brief went round to all the media outlets that they needed to get behind the referees because the subjectivity seemed to disappear, didn't it? They did seem to stop. But look, these pundits get paid a lot of money by the mainstream, and if the mainstream tell them to stop criticising referees, they're going to stop criticising referees. And I think you're right. I think that did change a lot. And I think I'd imagine a brief went round from all those mainstream media outlets to say, look, at the end of the day, we can't just keep criticising this. It's not getting us anywhere. We need to be a little bit, more constructive. Gerrard is going to slip and Barr is going to score, says Goliath. How long do you think it takes a team to walk off in protest at the level of VAR officiating? Until it's done, it will continue, says opinionated observer. I mean, look, I've seen things happen to United and I've wished the players have walked off the pitch. Obviously, if you walk off the pitch, you forfeit the game. Not all your fans are going to agree with that, are they? But I'd love to see it happen one day. If the decision was that unjust, I'd love to see it happen. Diaz against Gusto. It's been a 90-minute affair. McAllister. Liverpool still probing. Joe Gomez shoots straight at the keeper. Just watched again. Virgil didn't jump. If Colwell wasn't stopped, a small jump could have stopped the header. I'm done now, says Robinson Crusoe. Thank you. Seriously, it's not just this game. It's all games, says Shahin. And Metzanti says, I'm a Chelsea fan, and if we win this by 1 goal, I'm going to feel guilty for winning because of VAR. I want Chelsea to win this match deservingly, says Matt. Well, mate, look, as I said, I think on this channel people already know because we've spoken about this a lot over the last 2 years. It's got nothing to do with Chelsea. I think the offside decision is weird from that angle. It looked offside, but I just think the angle's weird. But it's not Chelsea's fault if the goal gets given or not. Liverpool are a victim in a sense, but so are Chelsea because it's like Spurs. It wasn't Spurs' fault that goal got given as offside when it was onside, and yet Spurs fans were defending it. Like they're not. It's not Chelsea fans' job to come in and defend PJMOL for bad decision makings. They just benefit from it, and we'd all take that. If it was the other way around, Liverpool fans would be saying, "Well, got away with one." Don't know about this match, but Petrovic has been class for Chelsea, says Snowman. He has. 10 minutes and we're going to extra time. I tell you what, Liverpool don't want extra time, do they? There's nothing they can do about it, but they've got so many games, they really won't want extra time with the injuries they've already got. Nice mug, says Ladio. Yeah, United stands. Get it on United Stand, Shopify. Need to get some That's Football ones, actually. Mike says, Kate Abdo is fantastic if you need an example of a fantastic female pundit. Yeah, I just think in life be better than that. We don't need to discriminate on gender or, you know, anything like that. I mean, there's plenty of things I can think of and I could list of, and I think we're all intelligent enough to know the many things that people discriminate against. But look, of course there are. There's some right shit on the TV, but it shouldn't be about that sort of thing. It should be about whether you're good enough. And another yellow card here. He's found his cards, hasn't he? Canate. Time for a stretch. I didn't want to. I mean, I don't mind extra time, but I didn't really want extra time because I was going to build a fire. And I've got the show at 8 o'clock and I was going to have a couple of hours in front of the fire. Just chill out. Bit of me time. But might have to reduce that down. Please do subscribe, by the way. I think we might have hit 110,000 on YouTube, but we're closing in. We're only about 10 away. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, and I'll check that in a moment. Lots of stick for the referee in the chat. Thanks for the follow, Reagan, Ryan, and Sean Byrne as well. Thank you very much. Liverpool like playing for penalties, says Sam. I don't think they do. I think they would love to just get this game won in 90 minutes. I'm sure Chelsea would as well. I mean, nobody wants to go penalties, do they? Kanate's yellow card just now wasn't needed. He made a clean tackle, says Claydon. I forget the name of this referee, but he's crap. I'll tell you what I find amazing. The fact that Casido doesn't have a yellow card next to his name is a laugh. It's an absolute laugh. I mean, look, maybe it was a red, certainly was a yellow, but I think there's been 2 or 3 other tackles in this game where I just think, how has he not got a yellow card? Chris Kavanagh is the name of the ref. He's not having a stinker. He's consistently crap. I don't know how he gets the referee finals, because I think every game he's refed United this year he's been shit. Mark, rather win the FA Cup or Liverpool relegated, says Alan. Come on. I'd rather win the FA Cup. I don't think I'd like to see Liverpool relegated. I know people say, oh, it'd be lovely. You know, Spurs fans probably want to see Arsenal relegated and vice versa. But do I really want to get Liverpool relegated? It's the 2 games of the season I look forward to the most. I know they're rivals and it would be funny to see them get relegated. But actually, I think when they were relegated, you'd be like, so we're not playing them this year. One of the worst officiating performances ever, says Callum. Remember the FA Cup? Here we go. This could be the goal for Chelsea. Conor Gallagher, big save by Kelleher. Big one-on-one, big save. Can't remember that cup final where it was the FA Cup final, Chelsea against Arsenal. One of the few watch-alongs I've switched off before it finished. 70th minute, I turned it off. Anthony Taylor. I've just had enough. He'd sent a Chelsea player off. He was absolutely abysmal. And I switched it off. I said, life's too short. Mudryk for Palmer is needed. He's got flair, says Ashton. Well, he's got pace as well. On the break, it might be quite useful on this big pitch because they're getting in time and time again. Nicholas Jackson's in. Konate's done well to hold him up. Conor Gallagher over the bar. It's playing into Chelsea's hands at the moment. The break is on. And Nathaniel says that Kelleher's made 2 big saves in both halves. I don't, you know, I genuinely, I know we've had the chat before. I really don't think we should be having extra time. Couple of subs for Liverpool here. I don't see. I've just tweeted it there. I really think in the modern game, when you're asking players to play so much football anyway, why are we going to extra time? Can anybody explain? I mean, look, I feel like sometimes I do miss the obvious. Why are we going to why are we going to extra time? I don't see why we do it. You know, it makes the travelling fans miss their trains. It makes the viewer have to watch another half an hour of something that has not happened in 90 minutes. I don't, and also it's smack in the middle of a season where everyone's got loads of other games to play. It doesn't benefit anyone. Lee Berman's right. I don't know why we have extra time anymore. It doesn't. If it was extra time golden goal, I'd understand it a little bit. But even that, they binned off. I just think, why not just go straight to penalties? Star Galaxy says it's because it's a draw. I understand the concept of extra time because it's a draw, but what I'm saying is I don't understand the concept of why we do it. Was Clattenburg better than these refs, says Toro? I don't think he was that good, actually, if I remember correctly. Thanks for the follow, Austin. Iron Lad says it's a bold move putting these youngsters on. I don't think he wants extra time. I'm having a look at the subs that he's made there. There might be quite a big hint that I don't think he really wants extra time. I mean, I'm not saying he's throwing the game, but what I'm saying is obviously he still wants to try and win it, but I don't think he wants to sacrifice big players' energy levels to win it. Gravenberg's come off. Bradley came off. Mudryk is coming on now. Yeah, look at the players he's took off. He's took off... Sorry, I don't know why they've not done that. Yeah, he's took Robertson off and McAllister off. And Gakpo off. So he's taken off big players. And I think the reason he's done it is because he doesn't want to pick up any more injuries. Liverpool will score a screamer before 90 minutes, says Oyam. You know what? The experiment of golden goal was got rid of too soon. I actually think golden goal in the modern game would be a lot better. So golden goal was basically you score a goal in extra time, it's game over. And they had it in Euro 96 long time ago. And there was a semi-final between England and Germany at Wembley. And I tell you what, it's one of the most exciting extra times I've ever seen. It still went to penalties, but Gazza was about an inch away from a tap-in. And I think Germany hit the post. And I think we might have hit the post. So it was brilliant. And then they got rid of it. And they got rid of golden goal. I think they got rid of it because they felt that teams were playing too defensive because they didn't want to concede. But the way football is now... He's adding 6 minutes on as well. Fucking hell. So these lot have played 102 minutes and they're going to play another 30. We're literally killing these players in front of our eyes. What have they done to this game? If Liverpool only win the League Cup, does Klopp leaving a high? No. I think Captain Red. I think they want the Premier League. It's the biggest. But yeah, I think I would. I think golden goal is worth another go. Nuala, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. Chelsea on the break. If he times it well, Mudryk is in. Konate's not quick enough. Terrible touch by Mudryk though. Sorry, Conor Gallagher. Mudryk's here. Oh. I think this is Chelsea's game now. Surely this is Chelsea's game now. Liverpool are going to... Liverpool have really dropped off now because they've made so many subs. Kalina was only the great referee, says Goliath. Oh, I loved Kalina. I mean, Kalina is a referee, if you don't remember him, was an Italian referee. And I've never known it since. There was this referee called Kalina. And he was around like the late 90s, wasn't he? Early... When did he retire? I feel like he was around until like around 2006. And Nkunku, great tackle. Good save by Kelleher again. Gusto. And Nkunku. Oh my God. Straight at the keeper. Mudrick's incoming biggest Mudrick fan. He's mad, says Ashton. And China says, what do you think the solution is for the terrible refereeing in England? No accountability or standards. Casido should have had a red and he's always violent. Injured Messi last year, keeps getting away with it. It's a dictatorship, the officiating in our country. So I don't see it changing because they're not accountable, like you say. Keller has had a very good game. But look, going back to Kalina, there was this referee, if you're not old enough to remember, and he was that good, which seems impossible when you think about referees these days. He had such a good reputation as a referee. He was on the cover of Pro Evo, the game. He was that respected. He was on the cover of Pro Evo. Liverpool on the break. Diaz. Chelsea are back. Yeah, just the work rate of Chelsea now is really good. The funny thing about Golden Goal is that EAFC still have it in their game. Yeah, they do, Clayton. Matthew, welcome to the Members Club. Did you see Wenger talk about Saka and him getting emotional about how much it means to him? Thoughts on if Ferguson spoke about Rashford, would he care, says Tom. Well, it's a bit different, isn't it? I mean, Saka is doing very, very well at the moment. Big says Gary Neville was on the cover of Pro Evo. They'll put anyone on there. Mate, I still think it's pretty exceptional to sell a game with a referee on the front. I mean, who's going to buy EA 25 if it's got bloody Anthony Taylor on the front of it? That's my point. Like, he was massively respected. And who respects the referees these days? And it's not because people don't want to respect them. It's because they're shit at their job. Time for a stretch. Get ready for extra time. Liverpool's legs have gone. Yeah, I think the substitutions that Klopp has made. I mean, even if this goes to penalties, who's taking the penalties for Liverpool? It's a risk having Diaz on the pitch as well. I only see a Chelsea win here now. I don't see where Liverpool... I don't see how Liverpool were never set up for extra time. They just don't have the squad for it. Whereas Chelsea can bring on Mudryk and Nkunku. It is a little bit men against boys, actually, isn't it? The whole game has shifted since the substitutions. Another free kick for Chelsea. Aluvi says it's one of the most rigged games I've ever seen. Look, I've got to be honest. Even as a United fan, I'll do a match reaction because it's a cup final. But if I was doing a match reaction now, and I don't know what the score's going to be, I probably would have to say something like robbed. Liverpool were robbed, because I just think we've been robbed of a legitimate goal. And then you add into the fact there was probably a red card there as well. It's a hard one to swallow, isn't it, in a tight game? But we're going into extra time here. Can Liverpool get through another half an hour? Thanks for the follow, M. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. What are your thoughts then? We're going into extra time. Get your comments in. Mark, I'm still wondering about the Bevo versus Goldbridge, says Kyle. I don't know. Didn't know there was a V versus Goldbridge. I was asked to react to his videos. I did. Simple as. Big up the Bevo. You know the rules. Follow. Thank you very much, Guide and Aris as well. Robbery says saw. Liverpool have been robbed, says it's me. And Nkunku. Okay, let's get started clearing house a little bit on here. Thank you very much for that. Do you think Liverpool will win the league, says Mike? Mate, I don't know, is the honest answer, but they're not going to win anything if they keep picking up injuries and don't get some players back. They're very similar to United at the moment, where it's just they almost have a bit of a jinx. I knew it, says MSK. Kalina was only the ref who could talk down to Oliver Kahn, says Goliath. And Mark, if we could have a halftime show like the Super Bowl, who would you pick, says Stephen the Hazard. Oasis reformed, singing hits from Definitely Maybe. Oh, that would be good. I'd have some of that. Anyway, let's talk about the game. There are the stats on the screen. Let's have a look how they look, actually. If we just pause that. So, still the possession with Liverpool, 52%. 6 shots each on target. It's been very equal now, but I think a lot of that has come from the substitutions that Klopp's had to make. I think for 75 minutes, the momentum was with Liverpool. Then he's had to make these changes that has massively weakened Liverpool's chances. They brought 3 or 4 kids on. He's took off Gakpo, McAllister, Robertson, Bradley. Why would you take those 4 players off in a cup final? I think it's preservation purposes. You know, Liverpool, Chelsea haven't took off a lot of their players that started the game. The reason that Jurgen Klopp is doing that is because he's probably been advised from his fitness people that by keeping those players on, they may well pick up some sort of muscle strain and then they won't play for a couple of weeks. He's got to manage his squad, and I think that's what he's done. But by doing that, you hand the momentum to Chelsea, because there's no way all those kids are going to come on and play as well as a McAllister or a Robertson or a Gakpo. It's just not going to happen, and he doesn't have anybody else on the bench. So Chelsea have got a great opportunity now. I mean, if you're Chelsea and you're Poch and you're looking at those changes, you're going to be saying, look, go to a penalty shootout. It's a lottery. Looking at this, we've got the momentum. Let's try and win this game. So MSK says it will go to penalty. I think Chelsea have got a big half an hour here where they've just got to put the ball in the back of the net. Just watching this again. There ain't no way Colwell is getting on that. It's lazy. Watch this. Van Dijk and Chilwell are away from Colwell before Endo even moves. Watch this. Chilwell and Van Dijk are ahead of him. He's never closing that gap. Never in a million years. It's speculative. The cross is going onto Van Dijk's head, and Colwell's got to close too big a distance in too short a time. Roz says you need your eyes checked, mate. But you're playing AI. You're predicting something that can't happen. You're saying that Colwell's going to get his head on that cross. I've seen the cross from Robertson. It's perfectly onto Van Dijk's head, right? Perfectly onto Van Dijk's head. All this jumping bullshit's irrelevant. I don't know what people are talking about jumping. The cross from Robertson loops and drops onto Van Dijk's head. Colwell from a standing position is a metre away from Van Dijk. Chilwell and Van Dijk move before Colwell. So he's got to make a metre that way and a metre that way on that. He's got to make about a second up. He's not going to do it. And I can't believe you've got people saying that ball would have been headed away by Colwell. It's very, very obvious it won't be. Because Van Dijk is stood a metre away from Colwell, who's got to close that gap and that gap. And before Endo stands in his way, Van Dijk and Chilwell have moved before him. It can't happen. It's simple physics. It just can't happen. He can't close that gap. He's not level with Van Dijk, and he's not ran with Van Dijk, so he can't close that gap in that time. He's lost. Endo does block him, I agree, but you're cancelling out goals on maybes. You're not cancelling. You should cancel goals out on certainties. Anyway, Andy Gray and Richard Keys have just ripped VAR apart, saying they're absolutely ruining the game and have gone too far. At least some pundits are telling the truth. MSK says, who is the GOAT, Messi or Ronaldo? Well, I don't think either of them are now. Oh, no, greatest of all time, isn't it? I thought it meant best player in the world. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that route. Yeah, not going to go down that route. It's a boring conversation, to be honest with you, in the days that we live in. Let me... I don't think I have extra time clock, actually. So let me just... we'll just start off with 0 again. And we're off. There we go. First half. Italy drew with France at rugby. Says Ross. That's a big result for Italy. Thanks for the physics lesson, Mark, says Waffle. Well, I'm amazed I have to give a physics lesson because it's just bloody obvious to the plain eye, isn't it? But apparently not. Apparently, Colwell is going to close a gap that's impossible to close. And it's the best bit of VAR we've ever seen. You can't officiate games on predictability. We predict that Colwell would have won the header, so we're going to rule out a goal. Well, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't predict something that's not fact. Flynn says the disallowed goal was bullshit. Thank you very much, Flynn. It's gone anyway. Can Liverpool... I mean, I tell you what, we haven't said. If Liverpool win this game, Chelsea fans are going to be in uproar. You've got your best team out, more or less. They've got basically half a youth team out. Styles says Jackson's goal wasn't offside. Why are you not talking about it? I mean, it's a bit different, mate. It did look offside. The camera angle's a joke. It's embarrassing. I agree. But it's not definitely onside either. I mean, that's just pure speculation as well. Oh. Diaz in the box. Gusto clears away. Well, I hope both teams go for it because a penalty shootout really is a lottery for both. Chelsea are playing a very youthful Liverpool team and they've got to go for it. Liverpool are not going to sit back, so they will go for it. So it'd be very disappointing if it went to penalties because I do think that you've got to go for it in both scenarios. Klopp's going to go for it. He's got nothing to lose. Chelsea have to go for it because they're now the favourites. Corner to Liverpool. Somebody just said set pieces might be their best chance of a goal. Amazingly, we've gone past 110,000 subscribers. We're only 25 away from 111. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. You're all welcome. Doesn't matter who you support. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We could be heading to penalties, but we're certainly in extra time in the Carabao Cup final here. Belly Goal says Liverpool's D team is cooking Chelsea. There's the cross, headed away. Bad ball. Bad ball. Kieran says rest in peace, Stan Bowles. Oh, big chance. Big chance. For Liverpool. I don't even know who this is. Dan's. Van Dijk heads it back across the face of the goal. Dan's gets up, heads towards goal. I think it was going to hit the bar anyway. I think he probably should have done a little bit better, but Klopp wants to hear the fans. It's another corner. Cross comes in. Harvey Elliott's going to have to pick that up on the far side. He'll whip it in again. No, he won't. He's gone for a different type of cross, and that'll go for a throw-in. Shouldn't Howard Webb be VAR in cup finals as H? I don't think he gets involved in any of that sort of stuff anymore. Chelsea need to do more here. They've got to get on the front foot. They'll never. I said before the game, they'll never get a better opportunity to win a cup final this season, a trophy this season. And that was before we got to this point. But you look at that Liverpool side now. I mean, I'm going to put it up on your screen for you. Considering Chelsea really have got pretty much their first team, you know, look at what they're up against. They've got, you know, look at that. Look at that. They've got to go for it. They've got to go for it. What's your score prediction, says MSK? What now? I'd still think Chelsea. As a City fan, I'm backing Liverpool, says Sneaky Pineapple. Here's Diaz on the left. I mean, Liverpool have started this extra time a lot better than Chelsea. I don't know. Chelsea still seem to be playing this counter-attacking football. They've got to be very careful of Diaz, Liverpool. They almost need to wrap him up. Such a big player for them. Right, Madawiki's coming on. Conor Gallagher, I think, is coming off. He's probably run a marathon. He does most games. You can't play forever. That's the thing. Football's demanding. Madawiki on for Conor Gallagher. Does that mean Leeds have a shot at beating Chelsea in the Cup? Please say yes, says Louisa. Well, I think Chelsea play Wednesday night, don't they? Who are Liverpool playing? Southampton? Could be a tough game for them as well. I think it does get to a point where too many games. You almost do yourself out on exhaustion. Same old story for Chelsea, says Ivan. I presume that story is can't score goals. What's your prediction? Anyway, MSK is asking what's your score prediction. I'm still going to go Chelsea to win this 1-0, but I've got to say, I don't know what Chelsea fans think, but I'm disappointed in Chelsea. You're playing a Liverpool side like this, and you're still playing counter-attacking football. Like, get on the front foot. CCL's right. Liverpool seem the more energetic team in extra time. Like, Chelsea should be on the front foot here. Don't forget to check out Surfshark, by the way. They're sponsoring our show today. Virtual private network. So if you're in America and you want to look at your UK Netflix, you can change your location based on the Surfshark VPN. Side netting, Harvey Elliott. I saw the net move, but it's side netting. 3 months off, 3 months free and 83% off. Check it out. Links in the description, or scan that QR code when it goes round. Big thanks to them. That's all about technique from Harvey Elliott there. Hard shot. It's a hard technique at this time of the game. He doesn't do too bad, but, I mean, if he gets it right, could have been a goal. Imagine Chelsea goal, a big upset, says MSK. I don't think it would be now. I think Chelsea are favourites. I just don't think they're playing like favourites. Irishman, thank you very much for your super chat. Brandon, thanks for the follow. Are we going to get another penalty shootout, says Ryan. Adventure says Liverpool are playing the better team at the moment. But they are. I'm very surprised in extra time. I really thought Chelsea would have a little bit of momentum here. It's almost like Chelsea are playing for penalties. Make it make sense. Bull and Lyle, thank you very much for the follow on TikTok. Thank you very much. Tell you what, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be a bit nervous at the moment because losing to Liverpool in normal time, you probably can deal with. Losing to this Liverpool side is going to get a reaction, isn't it? And that's no disrespect to Liverpool. Even Liverpool fans would admit that. You know, you wouldn't expect to be giving Chelsea a game with this sort of a team. Michael says, Chelsea fan nervous. Geobomb says, Liverpool team, C team. MSK's getting bored. Thoughts on the officiating today, says Jacob. Well, I'll do a match reaction and I've got my thoughts. The Casido red card should have been reviewed, I think. The offside looked dodgy. I think the offside was right, but the camera angle is ridiculous. You shouldn't be using that in a game like this. And the Van Dijk thing is wrong. It's wrong. I don't care what anybody says. It's wrong. You can't rule goals out by going looking for it and speculating. They can't tell whether Colwell's going to get there or not, and I don't think he does. So I think you have to give the goal. And I certainly think in any game, you shouldn't be looking for excuses not to give a goal. And nobody saw that goal and went, oh, that was a foul by Endo. Nobody did. VAR found it. Reminds me when Casemiro got sent off against Palace. Nobody saw him grab the collar. But they went and found it. And they missed Ayew slapping Fred. So you'll always find... on those sort of goals, you'll always find something. And I'd be disappointed if a mainstream pundit hadn't said the goal should have been given because nobody's seen that and nobody wants goals like that not to be given. And actually, on every corner, you'll find a foul. On every corner or set piece, you'll see a foul. If you want to find something, you'll always find it. And is that what we want to do with football? Every corner that's scored, like Arsenal scored a corner yesterday, I guarantee somebody barged somebody or grabbed somebody somewhere. Why are we looking to not give goals? That's my issue. There's no such thing as the clean goal when it's set pieces or corners. Somebody's always barging or blocking somebody. Ree, thanks for your super chat, pal. Matty says, what do you think about the Gravenberch tackle? Well, I don't think anybody can dispute that it would have been a red card at the start of the season when Curtis Jones got one, when Gusto got one. We've seen red cards for it, but they seem to have changed the rules again now, where you can do that and it's not even getting reviewed. So, again, it's the inconsistency, isn't it? Corner to Chelsea here. 2 minutes of the first half to go. Headed away. I would like to see penalties now. You know, I'm not a Liverpool fan and I'm not a Chelsea fan. I'm here for entertainment. And, yeah. MSK says, what's your thoughts on the game? I think I've just given them, really. It's just, I think if either of these teams had managed to score, it would be a 1-0 game. But very similar to what we saw before when they played each other a couple of years ago. Both defences have been pretty good. And, you know, there's been a couple of woodworks. couple of big saves. Chelsea have played counter-attack football. Liverpool have played possession attack football. And it's been close. Gravenberch is in crutches. It's a big problem for Liverpool. The problem for Liverpool is they play Man City soon, don't they? I think they play... Be a couple of weeks. I think Man City play United, then they play Liverpool. Well, I don't normally agree with Andy Gray and Richard Keys, Cole, but them ripping into VAR has to be said. I think we're about to hit half time of extra time. So we're going to be 15 minutes away from penalties again. Snot Nose, thank you very much for the follow. Keller has out a goal there. And that will be basically one half of extra time done. Unless they'll probably still add... I mean, I can't believe we still live in a world where they're adding time on to extra time. Well, I suppose they have to, don't they? By my calculations, these players have played 92 minutes plus another 10, 112, 118 minutes. They're going to be getting on for 140 minutes. Some of these players. 2 hours and 20 playing high intensity football. Fucking hell. They'll have got the daily calories in. Thanks for the follow, Jude. Done. Still 0-0. End of the first half of extra time there. Just going to pause this on 15 and then that'll work lovely, won't it? Lovely stuff. 15. Chelsea going to win on penalties, says Sids. Well, if it comes down to penalties and you look at that Liverpool team, you probably would predict that the Chelsea team have got the better players to score goals, just simply because we know them better and they're more high-profile players. But penalties comes down to bottle and technique, doesn't it? And you know, who's got the best, I suppose. Certainly going to be very interesting. Bit of cramp hitting for Disasi there. Atoro says, "Have you been to New Wembley, new or old?" Says Atoro. I have been to New Wembley. I went to Old Wembley quite a lot, but you know me, you know the rules. I prefer the old one. Not saying because I'm Irish, but Keller has made man of the match as the Irish zombie. Yeah, I mean, look, who would you say has been man of the match? I think Keller has had a good game for Liverpool. I think Diaz has had a good game for Liverpool. For Chelsea, Gusto. I think the Gusto-Diaz game battle has been really interesting. Conor Gallagher again was very impressive. Van Dijk's been good, I agree. Endo's played well. You can't not look at... I mean, I do think that Chelsea's defenders have played well in general. But the goalkeeper for Chelsea's had a good game as well. Referee's been man of the match for Chelsea, says Captain Smooth. He's took Konate off now. So it's just pure fatigue. I think Klopp knows they're so depleted. He's got to think with the head over the heart. And we certainly saw that with some of the subs he's made so far, and he's done it again. I mean, it's getting ridiculous, to be honest, how many... I'm getting tired of this. It's getting ridiculous, really, how many subs they've made, isn't it? At the end of his trial, Anthony told the judge, "Cheers, miss. Promise I won't do it again," says David. I don't know what you're talking about. Pissing me off that a depleted Liverpool side has more fight and guile than United. Love the Sunday few pints. Watchalongs, Mark, says Jason. Thank you very much, mate. I've not done the timer, so apologies for that. I will just do it now. Even I'm getting tired here. Oh, God, what have I done? We're at 15:40. There we go. Perfection. Perfection. Inception. 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 Josh, thank you very much for the follow. Can Chelsea do what they should have been doing for the first half of this extra time and actually get on the attack? You're playing against a Liverpool youth team in a cup final when you're mid-table. You've got to go for it at some point, lads. It's now or never. And they've got a bit of a break here. That's going to be a yellow card. Pulling his shirt. No doubt about that. He's pulled his shirt. It will be a foul. And it will be a yellow card for the Liverpool youngster. Thanks everyone who's tuned in today. It's been a slog. What's your madam making you for dinner, Mark? Says Murray. I had it before. I had a lovely, lovely stew with dumplings and mashed potato. It was really, really nice. But I have a pudding that I didn't have time to have, which I'm going to have after this. Apple strudel. Bit of custard. That'll be nice. Might have ice cream. We're in London, aren't we? Says Sia. Thank you very much, pal, for your super chat. A little do you think... What's this from Ronnie? A little you do not think about when talking FFP. You can add money to FFP. We have to divide it over the rest of the contract. 60 million, 3 years equals 20 million, says Ronnie. Yeah. MK Edit says, who's winning the Premier League? I'd still say Man City. I don't know. Here's Madueke. But we've got a great title race, that's for sure. Here's Mudryk. Cross, corner. Well, surely Chelsea are going to have a go now. I need to blink a bit. My eyes are getting very dry eyes from screens for too long. Riley, thanks for the follow. Mudryk is so bad, says Vin. Do you think Mudryk will ever actually come good? He's sort of in that Anthony category, isn't he? Of big money, but really not delivered anywhere near what you'd expect. Ginger, I've got no opinion on any of the youth players for Liverpool because I don't support Liverpool, so I've got no idea who they are. So I can't pass an opinion on them. Harvey Elliott's had a good game, though. Nearly came into him there. You just feel that surely there's a goal in this game. Surely there's a goal in this game. Cracked on Toaster says, "Do you think Vinnie Jones would be good in this game?" No, I think he'd be banned for most of it. I mean, like he was X-rated when he played in the early 90s. In the modern game, he wouldn't last 2 minutes. He was a thug on the pitch, you know, admittedly, self-admitted thug. He would not. I can't even remember what he was like as a footballer. But I remember what he was like in the tackle. Vicious. Oh, no. Kelleher's there. Ooh, he fumbled it, and I thought that was going to end up as a mistake. Thanks for the follow, Clement. I think we're in a position now where before the game, Chelsea would have wanted to win this game. I think we're in a position where Chelsea need to win this game now. I just don't think it's acceptable to not win this game when you look at the team that Liverpool have got out on the pitch. I think this is Chelsea have to win this, because the fallout from it, if they don't, will be, yeah, you can see it. Liverpool will be like, we beat you with our youth team. So, and I don't think it would just be Liverpool fans. I think there'll be a lot of people saying that. Chelsea have got to win this game now. They've put themselves in a position where I don't understand why Pochettino's not telling them to go on the front foot. I mean, it's a lottery, a penalty. I'd still put them favourites in the penalty shootout because of the players they've got, but it's still a lottery. I mean, there should be more from Chelsea. I don't understand why. I don't understand why he's not got them, you know, more on the front foot here. The quality of player that Chelsea have got on the pitch comparable to Liverpool is ridiculous, and they're still not going for it. Stephen says, "I love the mid-morning matters reference." Thank you very much, Stephen. I thought someone would get it. I mean, he's bringing another defender on now. Chilwell, that might be fatigue. Chilwell for Chalobah. I'd rather keep Chilwell on for penalties, wouldn't you? Over Chalobah. I mean, I don't know. Chelsea fans, is Chalobah good at penalties? I think I'd rather keep Chilwell on. Liverpool have got no good penalties on, says Morgan. No good penalty takers on. No, but look, you can still win a penalty. You can still win a penalty shootout without good penalty takers, in the sense that I could take a penalty and score in this Carabao Cup final, and so could you. There's less chance of me scoring it than someone like Enzo Fernandez, of course, because he's a better footballer, but if you step up and you hit it well enough in the right place, no keeper saves it. You know, you see my penalties against Ben Foster? I scored 4 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. Can't remember. You know, but of course it comes down to confidence. If these Liverpool lads hit their penalties confidently, they could still win it. They'll be underdogs in the penalty shootout, though. Of course they will. Look at the comparison between what Liverpool's 5 will be compared to Chelsea's. But Liverpool have been the team that have tried to score. I haven't seen enough from Chelsea in this extra time at all. I sense a fear in this Chelsea side. It's almost like they're scared to lose. On the line, Petrovic could have been a winner there. Again, Liverpool so close. So close. Keepers have been the man of the match, haven't they? Yeah, he's done his job there. Harvey Elliott on the back post with a header. Keeper saves it with his foot. And then Dan's follows in. He's got two hands on it. Yeah, good keeping. Good keeping. But where's the Chelsea attacks? Where's the Chelsea intent? Thanks for the follow, Lou. MSK wants to know who's winning the FA Cup. MSK, I tell you what, your line of questioning today has been relentless. Especially in the topic of impossible to answer questions. I don't know who's going to win the FA Cup. I'd probably say Man City again. How's this ended up 0-0? We've been in this position before with Chelsea, Liverpool in cup finals. I'm sure it was the Carabao Cup Final last time. Nearly 30,000 watching as we approach a penalty shootout here. I think we deserve it. Another shot straight at the keeper. I think we deserve a penalty shootout. We've sat through this long enough. Leo says Wolves are going to win the World Cup. I'm sorry, the FA Cup. They can't win the World Cup. And Liverpool again. Tsimikas needs some help here. Ignores it to put the cross in, but Chelsea are there again. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing what Liverpool have done here. With the players they've got on the pitch, it's absolutely amazing that they've been the better attacking side. Incredible. They've won a corner here. Christopher says that Chelsea fans have been talking about the emotion of Klopp's farewell tour and the refs being against them. No excuse if they lose. It's been fair game. Please do subscribe, by the way, and please give us a follow if you're on TikTok. Appreciate that. Nearly 30k watching on YouTube. Incredible community here, as always. And thanks, everyone, for getting involved. You're all welcome. We're into the last 2.5 minutes here. I mean, I'm tired from watching this game. Imagine being a fan of either club. Goal! There it is! I can't fucking believe it. I cannot believe it. Chelsea, what a bunch of prats. What an absolute bunch of prats. Van Dijk has won it at the end, and Chelsea are going to lose to Liverpool's youth team. It is unbelievable how they have bottled this game. And they, you know what, to be honest, I don't want Liverpool to win, but Chelsea deserve this humiliation. They deserve it. To be playing against that Liverpool team and sit back and defend in extra time, and Liverpool, with a team like that, full of kids, have gone again and again and again and again. Well, sometimes in life, you get what you deserve. And Chelsea, I'm sorry, you deserve what you're going to get. Liverpool deserve to win this game because you, inexplicably, with a much stronger team, have sat back and done nothing. And Chelsea fans will quite rightly be absolutely furious with the lack of intent in extra time. And tell me this right now. How is it that Chelsea are getting dominated in extra time against this team here? I mean, I don't even know who some of these people are. Clark, Kwanzaa. I mean, Dan's. Number 53. Can't even see what his name is because it's covered up with the yellow card. Tsimikas. Chelsea are getting dominated by that. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I'm not taking anything away from Liverpool. They thoroughly deserve to win it. But Chelsea's intent has been a fucking disgrace in this game. Sorry, I just had a Chelsea fan WhatsApping me, who I actually like, and they're just saying, you did call it. I did call it. I think Chelsea's approach has been unfucking believable. Chelsea outclassed by a bunch of schoolboys, says Murray. Justice, says Jay. Well, look, a United fan, I can't be happy. You know, I can't say I'm happy because it's Liverpool, but you know, there is a sweet justice jam on toast, isn't there, for Liverpool fans, that it's Van Dijk who scores, and that's not Chelsea's fault. That, you know, that's a big up yours to VAR, isn't it? But I just think, again, I mean, I said Arsenal have been incredible, but this, you know, Arsenal are incredible at the moment, but this is incredible in a different way. From Liverpool, this is absolutely incredible. Like, I can't believe it. I paused it on that on purpose. You know, he's had to take off. He's got 9 players injured, 9 first-team players injured. He's had to take off McAllister. He's had to take off Robertson. He's had to take off Gakpo. He's had to take off Konate for pure fatigue. And then he got all these kids on. I don't even know their bloody names. And they've come through and won it. You know, it's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I can't speak. I can't speak. And they thoroughly deserve it. They thoroughly deserve it. They've been the better team. And Chelsea, it's not over yet. It's all about the coach, Mark. Klopp has youngsters playing who are nowhere near the experience United players had yesterday. I'm not talking about that. Heart as big as Liverpool, says Ryan. Why have you got United fans making it about them? We're watching Liverpool against Chelsea. You want to talk about United? Get on United stand. Chelsea outclassed by a bunch of schoolboys. Yeah. This has got nothing to do with Manchester United. I'm talking about Chelsea. Right. Let's have, here, look at this. Look at this. From that to this. Watch. Now that's your Chelsea team. Nkunku, Madueke, Palmer, Mudryk, Fernandes, Casido, Chalobah, Colwill, Disasi, Gusto. Hundreds of millions of pounds. Hundreds of millions of pounds there, right? Clip this. Hundreds of millions of pounds, yeah? Losing to this. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And that final whistle goes and Jurgen Klopp is hopping around like he's on a trampoline because he knows the enormity of what they've just done. And Chelsea have absolutely embarrassed themselves there. That is absolutely incredible. You can't argue. You can't argue. And Chelsea fans have got every right to be absolutely furious. You're now in mid-table. You've got no cup. You're not in Europe again. You've now got to go and win the FA Cup. And I tell you what, this is going to scar you massively. This is going to hurt you massively because those Chelsea players are now going to be thinking, I mean, what were Chelsea doing in extra time? The 10 minutes before extra time, Chelsea were on top. 10 minutes before extra time, Chelsea were on top. Liverpool had brought all these kids on and Chelsea were on top. Into extra time and they parked the fucking bus. Incredible. Absolutely incredible weak mentality from Chelsea and a cowardly approach from the manager. You can't do that. Playing for penalty. They probably would have beat you on penalties as well. The way you played. Madness. Absolute madness. Look, I'm not going to sit and watch a Liverpool trophy lift. That's sadistic for a Man United fan. I've played the game. I've watched the game. Chris says, don't knock Klopp's kids. Mate, shut up. If you watch the show, you'd understand where I'm coming from. I've given Liverpool the credit. It's amazing. It's incredible what they've done. But Chelsea, that's embarrassing for them. You know, as much as it's an amazing win for Liverpool, it's a huge blow for Chelsea. Enjoy watching it if you're a Liverpool fan. I'm back on the United stand at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm going to do a quick match reaction now. I think there's a lot to talk about in there. But to be fair, the best team won. The right team won. And that's an embarrassment for Chelsea. And it's a major confidence boost for Liverpool. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Take care. Legends today. Loved it. Loved the stream. It's been a nice release. And that sounds wrong. I'll do a quick match reaction now. Take care. Speak to you in a bit. United stand live at 7. Speak to you there.